And we're live. Howdy, howdy, everybody. Oh, not live yet. Sorry. Now we're live. Howdy, welcome, howdy. Hope everybody's having a good day. Good morning. Guten Morning. I don't know how to say this in German or Dutch or whatever language. Welcome, welcome. A little chilly. Put on a jacket. Guten Morgen. There you go. It sounds silly. Like, I'm not gonna lie. It sounds silly. And have you guys heard Dutch? Like, not to make fun of the Dutch, but like, it is, I don't know, man. Unserious. Howdy, howdy, everybody. Hope everybody's having a good day. Now, which way do we want to take the Earth? The Earth being a globe today. Do we want to talk about neutrinos? Do we want to focus on final experiment? Do we want to talk about sunsets? Do we want to talk about direct observations? What should we do? There's like a lot of different routes that we can go, and they're always fun. Sunsets seem like a no-brainer. We could also talk about flight paths. We could use that one. The Artemis mission is a little bit tricky because they'll just say it's fake anyway. Using the Artemis mission, I should say. Why is the LHC being extended? Well, it's being upgraded if I remember correctly. That's because, like, why not? They already have the tube. Minos is fun. However, it's tricky for them to understand. So, like, it's they don't know what neutrinos are. Oh, okay. No one thinks Earth is flat, bro. Oh, well, just stick around for a few minutes and you'll meet some people who do. Can the difference of two unbounded operators be bounded? It should be, yeah. I mean, like, trivially so, right? Take an unbounded operator, subtract it from itself, and you get the zero operator. Van Allen belt. Yeah, what about it? What about it, Brian? How do we get through it? You get in a space capsule or a space shuttle or whatever you want, and then you fly. And you try not to linger. Let's talk to Captain Crunch.
Blitz, how you doing, man?
Captain Crunch, how you doing? I'm doing okay. Captain Crunch, what shape do you think the Earth is?
Well, I didn't come up to debate the Earth. I think the Earth is round.
Then why did you come up? You know the rules.
To be honest, I just saw that you were sick recently, and I want to let you know, man. I'm glad you look like you're doing okay.
I am.
And I hope you continue to get better, bro. God bless.
I appreciate it. Take care, Captain Crunch. Well, that was sweet. I mean, I do appreciate it. That said, I'd rather not like everybody do that, because then it's hard to tell who's actually wants to have a debate, who is just wanting to wish me well. Yeah, so if you're if you just want to wish me well, or if you want to play devil's advocate, please don't. It doesn't really help. Why isn't YouTube showing the, why aren't I getting YouTube comments going through? Okay, the YouTube comments are coming through now, but it did that thing where it was buggy again. Hate that. I hate that. Somebody said that Artemis 2 is staged. Well, look, I mean, yes, technically it was staged. If I remember correctly, there were 3 stages, right? But that's not what you meant, is it? Pensive, welcome to the Dr. Blitz Debunks crew. I appreciate you. You know what I mean. He's mad that when we say that a spacecraft is staged, that actually means something meaningful rather than just that it's fake. That is very funny though. It was kind of boring to watch. So the only parts of the stream I watched was I watched Liftoff and I watched Touchdown. That's it. The only parts I watched. Why was there no footage inside the craft when it came down to the ocean? I think there is. Like you can go, like I watched some of the, I watched like a time lapse from when it entered the atmosphere to when it touched down. I think that there is footage. Or there's footage from outside the craft. Do you want footage from inside the craft? I don't know. You want like what they looked like while they were coming down? I don't know, maybe you could go look. If there was footage from inside the craft but not outside the craft, you would have been like, why isn't there footage from outside the craft? So yeah, so the transmission of the footage cuts out for a 6-minute period during re-entry, but that's not saying that the footage wasn't taken. It's just that they couldn't transmit it live. So, but they did record it, and you can go watch it back now. Run'em Red, how's it going?
Good. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing okay. Run'em Red, what shape do you think the Earth is?
Okay, so this is I love this debate because I'm in between. I don't know, but I have friends that believe in flat Earth, and they have some interesting insight to why they believe what they believe. I always believed it was sphere and it's round, because I served in the military from 04 to 08. I was on an amphibious aircraft carrier in the Navy, and I used to stand watch at night and looking at the horizon at night, and during the day you could see a spherical shape at the horizon. So that is my only physical proof that I believe that the Earth is round. But like I said, I'm caught in the middle here. I haven't concluded my beliefs on whether it's flat or round. I'm kind of like confused, and because there's a lot of interesting information out there, so I haven't reached a conclusion on what exactly I believe. So I guess I'm calling in to see what your thoughts are.
Yeah, so look, there's a lot of different reasons I could give you that we know that the Earth is a sphere, but potentially one of the most straightforward ones is to just think about what we observe during sunsets, right? So first, there's just what the sunset looks like on its own. When we see a sunset, does it look like it's going down, or does it look like it's getting further away?
Yeah, it looks like it's going down.
Right, so on a flat Earth model, or the closest thing that they have to a model, the flat earther must assert that it's going further away because there's nowhere for it to go below, right? The sun is just moving, it's just going somewhere else, but it's still above the flat Earth, so it should just be moving further away. But that's not what we see. The second thing about sunsets is, and I'm sure you've seen that, by the way, there's some like serious echo. Would you be able to, I don't know, adjust that, handle that?
Is that better?
Yes, it is much better, thank you. So the second thing about sunsets is like, think about what you see on a cloudy day during a sunset. And just in case you can't visualize this, I will just show you a picture. Let me pull it up really quick. So this is just like, it's not like every sunset is like this, but you know, if you have clouds, often the clouds will look like they'll be pinkish, orangish, reddish on the bottom, and then they'll be dark on the top, right? And similarly, you can get a photo of this kind of thing from above as well. This is from an airplane flying above the clouds, and you can see that they're dark on top and they're like reddish on the bottom. And so again, this is during a sunset, or perhaps during a sunrise. They're very similar. And so the question is, if the Earth were flat, how could it be that the sun is lighting up the bottom of the clouds without lighting up the top of the clouds? And as far as I can tell, the only way to make sense of that would be if the sun was somehow lower than the clouds, so that the sunlight was going up to the clouds rather than coming down towards the clouds, right? And
that makes perfect sense. Yeah.
And if the sun was lower than the clouds, then a plane should be able to fly into it, because clouds aren't very high. So it would be very, very weird if somehow the sun was only a few miles up, because we could just go there. But obviously we can't. So it seems like obviously the sun can't be lower than the clouds, and so you can't have a sunset making sense of these images on a flat Earth. These
and this is actually, I've never actually heard it expressed that way, and I totally agree. Like I said, like when I was in the Navy in the middle of the ocean, you could see the spherical shape on the horizon. Yeah, no, I appreciate that. That's a very, very good point on the sun below the clouds and not above the clouds at the same time, because that's just logical sense there. It's common sense.
Yeah, I mean, who knows if it'll convince your friends, but hopefully it at least gives you some clarification, some clarity. But is there anything else, or should I move on to the next guest and you can see what the flat earthers say?
Yeah, you can move on.
All right. Well, thanks for being here, Run and Read. Take care.
Take care.
He was polite. He was a nice guy. All right, let's talk to Smexy. Bringing Smexy back. What a time to be alive. Do you guys remember that song? Or am I just old? Smexy, how's it going?
Hey, can you hear me?
I can. So, Smexy, what shape do you think the Earth is?
Okay. So 2 reasons why I requested. First one, you look like my coworker. Second one, I've been watching this guy. He's a flat earther. He does live all the time. You might know him. His name is Caleb Fay.
Yeah, I don't. So I used to debate him on the regular a few years back, and then he started posting Nazi shit on Twitter, and so I don't like to talk to Nazis. So yeah, I don't talk to him anymore.
That's weird.
Yeah,
okay.
he posted things like Hitler was right, or Hitler did nothing wrong. So yeah, let's not platform people who say that shit.
Yeah, that's weird. Okay. So I went up there and I debated him. I don't know a lot, obviously. I'm not very good at geometry, or you know what I mean, but he has a lot of his points are based off of geometry and all these experiments. And I was telling him about this one experiment where if you go up on a skyscraper and have people on different levels and have them raise their hands when they see the sun set at different times go below the horizon, then they'll raise their hands all at different times. And he was telling me that the sun moves in a spiral down from the atmosphere, or the sun orbits around us, is what he was saying.
Yep.
And I was just a little confused about that.
Yeah, so his explanation doesn't actually explain why there's a sunset at all.
Yeah, that's what I was confused about, because people go up there and he's like disproving them, but a lot of the things he says just sound smart, not right. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, generally speaking, so what you will find with these, the high-end flat earthers is that they sound, they know the words, but they don't know the meaning of the things that they're saying. And that can sound very convincing to people who also don't know the meanings of the things that they're saying.
Yeah, that sounds about right to me. I mean,
but I actually think that let me double check, because do I have a debate on YouTube between myself and Caleb? I might. So let me see if I can find it really quick. There might exist a debate somewhere. Yeah, so I participated in a 3v3 debate, and Caleb was one of the people on it. So if you want to go check that out and watch it and see how badly they performed, I will show you the debate link. It's right here.
Oh, thank you. No, I was actually about to come up here and tell you that I would donate to you to go debate him again.
So we did this 3 years ago. Their talking points haven't really changed since then.
Yeah.
It just doesn't look that good for them on this particular debate. So yeah, if you want, go ahead and take a screenshot or whatever, and watch and enjoy the debate, and come back and let me know what you think, or join the Discord and let me know what you think.
Hey, thank you very much. I was gonna tell him a lot of the things he's saying doesn't sound right, but you know he kind of looks like a rage baiter. You know what I mean? He sounds like one.
I think he is. Yeah.
Yeah, no, for sure. But thank you. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for being here.
Of course. Have a good day.
You too. Yeah, so this debate was 3 years ago, but it hasn't really changed much. I mean, like, there are a few new points that us globers have, you know, come up with because, you know, we actually have science, and so when we come across new scientific studies, we can read them and apply them. But yeah, check out this debate if you don't believe me. This involves Witsit. That's who Austin is. This involves Caleb. So if you don't believe me that I've debated him and, you know, crushed him, go watch this and you can enjoy it. It's on Jaronism's channel, who was a flat earther actually at the time. So that was certainly interesting. But yeah, Caleb definitely posted things like Hitler did nothing wrong on his Twitter, like, or X or whatever, like a year or two ago. Maybe he has since deleted it, but you can just, in fact, I'm sure that there are that there are globe earthers who have screenshots of this. So anyway, let's bring up our next guest. Talk to Eldreda.
Hello?
Eldreda, how's it going?
Hi, I don't know if you remember me, but I came on your live last year, I think about June, with my flatmate, who was a flat earther.
I don't, but sure.
Oh, no, I remember that you gave him a bunch of points and he was like talking about the firmament.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
And
That's all right.
sorry, I
just
talked to a
wanted
lot of
give him
people, and a year ago
I
is a
know,
long
I
time.
understand, I definitely understand. He's religious and maybe not the best informed, but he's very well intentioned, and I just wanted to give you some great news. We have converted him.
Yes,
He is
let's go.
I know, just wanted to
We
give you
got
some
there.
great news. Oh yeah, eventually, yeah.
Well, I'm glad
That's
to hear
all I
it.
wanted to say.
Glad to hear it, Eldreda. Thanks for letting me
Yeah.
know. That's always good news
Yeah.
to hear. Take care.
Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Somebody said, look up Dr. Blitz Gets Humbled. Like on YouTube? I'd love to see that. But we do have some guests, but I'll look it up at some point. Let's talk to Gavin. By the way, y'all, I am looking for debates, so if you're not opposition, like, while I appreciate all of the good news and all of the good conversation, like, I am looking for people who think that the Earth is flat. So please have some restraint. Don't request if, you know, if we're doing that. Stop running. Okay, Matt, I'm going to invite you up. Matt, I stopped running. I stopped running, Matt.
Oh, you want to talk about how there's light under the clouds?
Yeah, we can talk about whatever. You think that the Earth is flat, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I imagine you heard the stuff about the clouds. So how can you account for the light being brighter under the clouds than above the clouds?
Okay, I have a model here I would like to show you, if
Sure.
that's okay.
Sure. I don't think I can actually like make you big though, because you're streaming across 3 platforms. But if you have like a link to it or something, I can pull it up. So it looks like in your model,
Here.
you have the sun above the clouds and it's just going through the clouds.
In a way, yeah, you can say.
Yeah, okay, so how is that making the bottom of the clouds brighter than the top of the clouds? What are you pointing at? So the light is going through the clouds, so the top of the clouds, where the light hasn't been filtered yet, should be brighter than the bottom of the clouds, where some of the light has been filtered out, right? Is your mic not working?
Oh, I'm sorry. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, so what it's basically trying to show is that, like, sometimes it is brighter because there's, like, you know, gaps
There's no gaps? Gaps between what?
between clouds.
How would the gaps between clouds make the sun or make the clouds brighter on the bottom than on the top.
What do you mean it gets brighter on the bottom than the top?
The clouds are brighter on the bottom than they are on the top. See, and if you look at this picture, the bottom of the clouds are brighter than the top of the clouds. The bottom of the clouds are brighter than the top of the clouds, right? You follow?
You see that?
Yeah. I see your picture of the sun above the firmament. What about it?
So all that light can produce, light that can, be able to go through the clouds, as I already demonstrated.
How is
before.
the bottom of the clouds brighter than the top of the clouds?
Because sometimes there's like holes.
How would that make the bottom brighter than the top?
There would be no top because there would just be a hole. That's why
If there's a hole,
go to the bottom
if there's a hole, then there's no bottom either. A hole is like a pass through, right?
Also, the sun could just shine on the bottom of the cloud. Also, my picture shows really everything you need to know.
I have no idea what you're talking about. What picture? The one where you showed the sun above the clouds, illuminating the top of the clouds, which would make the top of the clouds brighter than the bottom of the clouds?
Let me show the right one.
Mm-hmm.
This one. If you can make it bigger on the TikTok, just real quick, because I haven't read it in a minute.
Okay. YouTube, you'll have to suffer. So it says illuminating bottom of the clouds. Why isn't the top of the clouds illuminated? How is it illuminating the bottom but not the top?
Light spread downward.
How is it illuminating the
bottom and top?
So if there's a bottom, then there's a top, right? You can't have a bottom without a top. I don't know if you know this.
As you can see right there, it gets to the bottom because there's a hole.
There's no hole though. There's a cloud on top of it. There's a cloud that it passes through first.
No, the cloud isn't like a. It's not like a.
You can't have a bottom unless there's something on top of it. So why isn't illuminating the top of the cloud without?
What is a cloud? What is a cloud? Tell me what a cloud is.
It's water droplets, suspended water droplets.
Okay, so is a cloud like smoke? Like what is it?
It's suspended water droplets.
Oh, so it's just water?
Yeah.
And it just floats around like that?
Yep. Some ice crystals too. Some ice crystals too.
Water floats?
Yeah, water droplets. Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was like, really?
Have you ever heard of mist?
That's just water flying in the air?
Have you ever heard of mist?
That's all mist in the air, just flying.
Do you not know what mist is?
What did that?
You've got to be trolling. This is not serious.
No, don't try to pivot away and try to say I'm trolling and kick me trying to make it look funny. This isn't funny.
You don't understand? You don't know what mist is?
I know what mist is.
Okay, is mist floating?
I do. Does mist float in the air?
Yeah.
And become a big cloud?
No, I'm asking you, does mist float in the air? Like, okay, is mist made of water droplets?
Yeah.
Okay,
and it's like so damp, like when the air is damp, I guess.
So what's the issue? There's the Joker laugh.
What do you mean? No, the issue isn't with the cloud. The cloud, it's not whether or not what the cloud actually is. It's the point that like the cloud.
You brought it up.
It's mist, right? It's mist.
I mean, a cloud isn't mist, but a cloud is a similar phenomenon as mist.
Does all the mist get lit up, or just like the back of the mist?
The top of the mist, if the light source is above it, the top of the mist will be brighter than the bottom of the mist.
Can light go through mist?
Yeah, but the top of the mist will be brighter than the bottom of the mist.
If it can go through, why?
Because not all of it makes it through.
What if some of it's more thick?
Regardless of
the
gradient in thickness, regardless of the gradient in thickness, if the sun is above it, there will always be more sunlight at the top than the bottom, because some of it will always be filtered out. So there's more sunlight at the top than at the bottom.
That's what I'm saying here.
So you agree that there should be more sunlight at the top than the bottom?
I'm saying that, you know, it's not always the case that there always has to be more sunlight at the top than
There
the bottom.
does, because some of the sunlight is always filtered
Because there
out.
doesn't always have to be an actual top.
Some of the sunlight is always filtered out. There has to be a top, otherwise there's no bottom.
There is a top and bottom, but top and bottom aren't real. Those are just like...
I agree. There always has to be a top and bottom. If there's a bottom of something, then there's also a top of it.
No, I don't agree that there's actually like an abstract bottom or like an abstract top. Like,
You wouldn't.
I don't believe in that.
I know. I've had him up before. He's not a troll. He's just dumb. He's just dumb, guys. All right, let us talk with Certified Science Denier. That's a name. I didn't know that Matt was the guitar guy, because otherwise I probably wouldn't have brought him up. Certified Science Denier, how's it going?
Pretty good, pretty good.
So, Certified Science Denier, are you a certified science denier?
Oh yeah.
Where do you get that certificate?
Anywhere else that you guys get your certificates, you know? Anywhere that anybody can say is credible. Anywhere that anybody can say is credible.
Anywhere that anybody can say is credible, but anyone can say anywhere is credible though.
Oh, so classic Glober red herring right there. But can we talk about the topic, or do you just?
I was just curious where you got the certification. That's all.
Okay, so it doesn't really matter. It's just a name.
Okay,
sorry, I gotta explain that to you. But,
it's fine. It's fine. It's just a bit. Okay. Anyway, so you think that the Earth is flat?
Well, I know it's flat.
Okay, how do you know
I
it's
want to
flat?
see you say flat Earth is dead, but ever since that Artemis launch, it just seems like it's more active than ever. So, like, you guys just aren't covering your tracks really good on that one. So,
okay, yeah.
Kind of obvious nowadays. Everybody knows.
So how high is the
But
sun?
I had a question. What's up?
How high is the sun?
Oh, somehow it's 90 million miles away, but it's not. But I had a question for you.
Well, no. Why didn't you answer my question?
I just said it's not as far away as you guys say it is.
I didn't ask you how far away it
The exact
isn't.
number is not relevant.
I didn't ask
you. Want me
you
to go put a tape measure? You want me to measure it?
I would like you to tell me how far away you think the sun is. Yeah.
You want me to ask Google, or you want me to pull out a tape measure?
Well, on the flat Earth model, I'd like to know how far away it is.
Oh, I just said it's not as far as you think it is.
That's not how far away it is. That's how far away it isn't.
You want an exact number? Like, what are you asking for? Can I ask
like
my question?
if you could give me a number within, say, 10%, like, you know,
Okay,
maybe with one significant figure. Oh, so
you go in creative mode.
So are you telling me that you have no idea how far away the sun is?
Oh yeah, let's say that for sure. Yeah.
Okay, so it seems that's 1 point for science, 0 points for flat Earth, because you you are unable to explain how far away the sun is. Sure. Okay, go ahead, ask your question.
Okay, so don't run from this question, okay? I know you guys like to say that.
Yep.
How do you guys? So yeah, you make it seem like you know everything, right? So how is there has to be a barrier for a vacuum? Why do you Google? Is it space a vacuum? Like, why do they say space is a vacuum, but you need a container for a vacuum? And why do I use vacuum pumps for a living? And you clearly need a container. The moment you break the vacuum, the high pressure goes into the vacuum. And it just, if we would all be dead if space was a vacuum, nobody seems to care. The space is fake.
So,
and you can't answer that question because there's no.
Do you want me to answer it? You got to stop talking if you want me to answer it.
Okay, well, if you say it's a pressure gratient, you need a barrier to have pressure. You got to have a container for pressure.
Gravity is the force. Gravity is the force that acts as the container for the atmosphere.
Right. So how is gravity so strong that it could hold that much water to a ball upside down? Mm-hmm. But like gases and stuff and planes, they aren't affected by gravity. They just could fly up in the air. But like, so if you think about it, gravity should be so strong that everything should get pulled to the center of the earth, like water does upside down. Gravity, why does that not happen anywhere else or on a small scale?
The Earth's gravity is very strong because the Earth is very, very big. That's how it's so strong. Now, it's not infinitely strong, obviously. So as long as you can produce a greater force in the opposite direction, you can overcome it.
But why does gravity only work in like your guys' little scenarios that you bring up where it's like how come there's gravity, like places where gravity doesn't apply? Like, why is that?
Can you, I kind of project the premise of the question. Can you give me an example of where gravity doesn't apply?
How they go up into the air. Think about it. Like the water is sticking to a ball upside down.
Where does gravity not apply?
Billions of pounds of water holding.
Where does gravity not apply?
billions of gallons of water holding upside down.
Where does gravity? Sorry, where does
But
gravity
somehow
not apply?
boats are floating, but somehow birds are flying in the air. Like, shouldn't gravity pull them down if it's so strong?
Didn't
Like,
I
that's
already?
what I don't get.
I already answered this question. Gravity
You don't
is
have a good
strong.
answer.
Well, I'm sorry you didn't like it. Gravity is strong. However, if you can apply a bigger force in the opposite direction, you can overcome it. There's no issue there.
What's that force that's in the opposite direction?
It depends. So it depends on what you're doing. So like if you're an airplane, the force that you're using is lift from the wings. If you're a rocket, the force that you're using is thrust from the engines. If you're a hummingbird, again, you're using like a downward force from your wings. That you push the air down, and then Newton's third law gets you that there's an upward force that the air applies upwards on your wings that pushes you up. So like it just depends on the thing that's doing the floating or the flying or whatever.
Yeah, but that's the point. Is what I'm saying is like if it's so strong, none of that would work. And like, why is there multiple pilots if we're going to talk about pilots? Why
Hold on, let's not pivot. Let's not pivot. So look,
it's not pivoting. It's just making a point that goes along with this point.
It is strong, but there can be things that are stronger. What's so hard to understand about that?
Why do they not adjust for curvature? That's what I don't understand. Like,
planes don't need
the globe
to.
is just more dead than ever. If flat Earth isn't dead, the globe has been dead.
Planes don't need to adjust for curvature. They're designed to follow the gravitational gradient. Now, look, if you think that
do people just believe that genuinely, or do you just?
That's basic. That's basic aerodynamics. If you want to question that,
nothing
we can
about
talk
that is
about
basic or even logical or even
sure
possible.
It is.
Right?
Well, it's basic for anybody with like a high school diploma, but that's not a lot.
Yeah,
of
so that's why I graduated high school, and I still know that. Like,
oh, you
have no points.
So can you explain to me? Oh, right. So it should be pretty basic then.
Freshly indoctrinated and freshly unindoctrinated.
Okay, sure. So can you explain to me what the center of lift is?
I got that FLERF script. Don't even test me. Center of lift?
Yeah.
Okay, you do realize that you wouldn't even be able to lift if gravity was that strong.
Can you explain to me what center of lift is, please?
You got to stop lying to these people, man. It's weird.
Can you explain to me what center of lift is, please?
Center of lift? Can you explain to me how there's a magical barrier? You never said anything about that. What was your answer?
Cool dodge. Can you explain to me what center of lift is?
You didn't answer earlier.
I absolutely did.
The question earlier.
Now explain to me what center of lift is.
What was the answer, and I'll answer yours.
Oh, I explained that it was gravity. Now answer. What is the center of lift?
Can you answer why half of your guess fake guess?
Are you a fake guest? You sound like a fake guest.
Obviously not, but how do you add someone up that says they converted somebody to being a globe earther after being a flat earther? That's not possible. So they're lying or you're lying. Something's going
possible.
on there.
Okay. Either you're panicking because your grift is almost up, or you're panicking because I've caught you trolling. So which one is it?
If I'm trolling, why did you gain 200 views from me?
Because trolls are still good content.
No, it's because I'm making your life interesting, because it's just so boring just listening to like lies all day. Like, bro.
people love hearing
clearly
you
guys
on flat
haven't
earthers.
used a vacuum. You guys don't know how a vacuum is. You don't know how it works.
Why have you not answered my question yet?
Because you got terrible questions that don't prove your model.
Oh, you just don't like my question? Can you answer it, please?
You didn't like my questions.
I answered your questions. You just didn't like the answer. Now, can you answer my question, please?
You didn't even. Did you say pressure gradient, or you said gravity? That was your answer.
I said gravity.
I forgot. My bad.
Container.
Your answer was gravity to that question.
I'm sorry you don't like the answer. Now, please answer my question.
And then I just continued to debunk.
Please
gravity.
answer my question.
What? Center of lift?
What is center of lift?
I don't know. Sorry.
Oh, I thought that you would know it if it was basic.
I guess that I don't have a PhD. Like
I guess you don't know.
Everything.
I guess you don't know shit. Anyway, so the point is that the center of lift on an airplane is behind the center of gravity, and so that means that if an airplane is increasing its altitude in a way that it's not trimmed to do, and you can adjust the trim. This is what pilots do in order to basically determine that they want to fly at a certain altitude. Then the plane will automatically tilt back down to decrease the altitude. And if the altitude gets lower than the kind of pre-programmed altitude that you adjust with trim, then the plane will automatically increase in altitude. And so it'll oscillate like this, staying at on average constant altitude. And then of course there are damping factors that you can basically build into your plane that will automatically damp that oscillation. So you'll stay at a basically level altitude, even while you're going around the curvature of the Earth.
Okay, well, I can't deny that. I don't know how airplanes work that well, but that still doesn't prove that you're curving around the Earth. That just proves that the airplanes know how to stay level on the level Earth. So
they wouldn't They wouldn't need that,
They're
by the
called
way.
airplanes because they're on a flat topographical plane. You guys seem to think it's like a flat,
This has
like
gotta be
floor
a
or
troll.
something where there's
This
no
has gotta be a
ghosts.
troll,
you guys
right?
Clearly don't understand. Yeah, I'm trolling. You guys always say that.
Okay. I mean, if you are
trolling.
like I kind of
Right.
believe it that you're trolling. Why would you have certified science denier in your name otherwise? Are you familiar with neutrinos?
Oh, it's called being on the side of truth. That's why you guys think it's trolling.
Are
It's
you
not
familiar with
lies.
neutrinos?
I've heard someone say that before. You guys don't prove anything with that, so it's funny. Like,
So which part do you not
you guys are
think is
actually funny.
which part do you not think is good evidence?
So you're just changing the subject.
No,
Like,
I'm
you
talking
guys
about
just run and just say,
the
"Nuh-uh,
neutrinos.
nuh-uh, it must not be true because mainstream science doesn't say so.
Well, I want to talk about the neutrinos. If you don't want to talk about the neutrinos because it destroys your worldview, I can understand that.
You just believe everything that's in like the textbooks and all that, or what?
I have a
Like the
personal
textbooks say
friend
it's
who works
true,
on
it
this
must
stuff.
be true.
I have a personal
My
friend who works on
PhD
this
says
stuff.
it's true. It must be true.
I have a personal friend who works on this stuff. So, do you want to talk about neutrinos, which destroy your worldview, or would you rather dodge
I've
it?
met
And we can
plenty
talk
of
about
people
something
that
else.
work on this stuff, bro. They're all
sure you have.
Freemasons and liars and weird.
Yeah. So as far as
think I don't
neutrinos
know
are
this.
concerned, do you know what a neutrino is?
Right. You think I care what a neutrino is?
A neutrino.
Boom.
I think that you probably should
I
care
don't
because
care
it
what they
destroys your
are.
worldview.
I know it has something to do with like bending light or all that fake stupid shit.
Doesn't have
but-
anything to do with light.
What did you guys say? I remember I was in a live with some dude that was just like you, trying to make it seem like he knows everything. What are they?
So neutrinos are a subatomic particle. They're produced
How
in
does that
certain
prove
radioactive
global?
decays. I'm getting there. So they're produced in some kinds of radioactive decays, in particular when pions decay, they decay into
So
a
it's
mu1
something
and
that
a
no average
neutrino.
person could see and test. All right.
Well, yeah. Sometimes science is hard and it requires
Yeah,
you know,
so you got to be in
experimental
secret
apparatuses.
cult of science to be able to test that. So it's just
Okay,
lies and
anyway,
fakes.
so
Once
you can-
we're proving it,
You can dodge if you want, but clearly you don't know what neutrinos are or how they prove that the Earth is a globe. So neutrinos neutrinos travel in a straight line, and they don't diffract. They don't bend. You know how light can bend when you put it through glass, for example? Neutrinos don't do that. Neutrinos don't bend
Like a
regardless
rainbow
of
under
what they're
the
passing
firmament?
through. Neutrinos don't bend regardless of what they're passing through. And they can pass through basically everything unimpeded. So there's an experiment that was set up in Illinois into Minnesota, I think. It goes northwest, whatever state is northwest of Illinois. And they shot the neutrinos into the ground at a 3-degree angle. And when they detected them 400 miles away, they saw the neutrinos coming up from the ground at a roughly 3-degree angle.
Gosh. You
Why
should believe
would that
anything on
be?
YouTube, huh?
This isn't on YouTube.
How do you prove it?
I can go show you the
Because
evidence
you do
for
know
it.
that if you get a basic Nikon,
Do you want me to
or
show you the
whatever,
evidence for it?
something P900, you can literally
Cool
debunk
deflection.
curvature with a simple
Cool deflection.
zoom
Do you want me to
camera.
show you the evidence for it?
You mean cool proof of the shape of the Earth being a lie? Like you
Cool
guys say?
deflection.
It's
Do you
not
want me
a
to show you
globe.
the evidence for it?
Not a deflection.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like definitionally a deflection.
Definitionally, okay.
Yeah. Do you want me to show you the evidence for it?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, show me how you have light that just curves around the Earth.
No, we're not talking about light. We're talking about neutrinos. Get your head in the game.
Guys still must not be understanding what they are.
You're
Doesn't explain
apparently
anything.
not. So this is a graph of the detected events at the neutrino detector, this middle one here. And what you can tell is that it's going up and to the right, right? This green arrow, it's going up and to the right. See that?
Mm-hmm.
So that is the angle that the neutrinos are being detected at the detector. So they're coming at them and upward. So it's the detector is over here. So they're coming from below towards them, up and towards them. Now, this detector is 400-ish miles away, and it is detecting neutrinos that were shot into the ground at a 3-degree angle.
So
And
you're
they're
detecting a
detected
small little particle
up
from
and to the
400
right
miles away at a
3-degree
angle.
Yep,
From 400 miles away.
yep.
So you guys just lie out of your ass. That's the most.
Oh,
Nobody believes
that's a
that,
big
bro.
claim.
Come
Do you
on,
want to
dude.
prove that it's a lie?
You just had dots on a graph trying to prove that the Earth is a ball, and you just had dots and an arrow pointing to the top
Do you
right.
want to prove that it's a lie?
You
or
can't be
Is it
serious.
just your incredulity? I mean, like you can claim that it's a lie all you want, but at this point you're clearly just
a bunch
coping.
of dots on a graph is your guys' best proof, dude.
Well, that's how we
Wake
depict
up.
data.
A bunch of dots on a graph and a bunch of lies and science and gravity.
I mean, your name is really landing.
You can't
It's really
prove
landed, isn't it?
curvature, dude. No matter what you say, you can't prove curve.
I just did, actually.
You can't.
You're just not
You
intelligent
can't
enough
put
to
anything
understand
on
it.
a small scale and test it. It's just a theory and pseudoscience.
Are you sure that you graduated from high school?
I definitely can show you my diploma.
Okay. I mean,
But I
like,
don't have to.
I guess you can graduate even if you get D's. So like,
Yeah, it's called not even caring in school and still graduating. So you know that shit's bullshit.
right, that checks out.
Like you don't need anything except for like basic math. Like you guys just make the world too complicated for no reason, just so you could have science and a whole industry behind it and make a bunch of money, like some fucking weirdos and have power.
Yep, I'm sure that that's it. I'm sure that that's
Exactly
the justification that you
That's
give to yourself.
exactly it. Don't even deny it. Like
So
you
the
deny
reason
everything else.
why you got D's in high school is because it's all bullshit
D's.
and you don't care
D's and
anyway.
B's and A's.
And it's definitely not because you weren't capable of understanding the
Oh no, maybe it's
fairly
because I was
straightforward
just
science and
somehow a little
history
bit
and
more
literature, etc.
open-minded than any of you guys, just believing any nonsense. that's
Maybe
in
you
the
were
textbook,
maybe you were so open-minded that your brain fell out. Maybe you should go back to the high school that you graduated from and go find it.
So do you know who Epstein is? Why does his wife?
That's an
why does
awesome
her
deflection.
dad-
This
why
is an
did she make the
enormous, awesome
textbooks?
deflection. I love
Hey,
this
but
for
this
you.
is the people that are teaching us this stuff. How's that a deflection if they're teaching it us?
Who's
to us?
Who's teaching you out of Epstein textbooks?
If you would listen, I just said if you look into it, which you guys don't, her dad bought the textbooks that we learned from.
Yeah.
You don't think that they're not teaching us weird lies?
Why would Epstein's dad care to teach you lies about the shape of the Earth?
Okay, so you're just not there yet. Yeah, let me just stick
your
around for like an hour and
let's
just
hear your
explain
random
everything to you.
conspiracy theory.
Oh, so you're just lying because it's not a conspiracy theory.
No, I mean I mean it's true that Epstein's dad was a
So you know it is. Okay, so
certified science
yeah, so
denier.
you're
Let me
just
finish the sentence. So it's true that Epstein's dad did own some companies, and some of those companies like wrote textbooks. But what's not true, and what is a conspiracy theory, is that he would require the authors of these textbooks to fill them with lies. That's the conspiracy theory.
So you're just grifting and lying in front of 1.3 thousand people. Okay.
Grifting
so-
and lying? You haven't demonstrated a single lie. Oh, I'm sorry. It was Ghislaine Maxwell's dad. You're right. Not Epstein's dad. You're right. Sorry, got that wrong. You got it wrong too, by the way.
So yeah, I'm pretty sure I don't really care. I know I'm partially right, like enough right.
No,
for it
you're
to
not.
matter.
It wasn't Epstein's dad. You're 100% in
Okay,
the
well, I
wrong
don't
there.
really care. I never said it was Epstein's dad.
You said Epstein, actually. So it wasn't
Okay,
Epstein.
You guys are this dumb. Wow. How do you have a PhD? They just give those out like chocolates or something? Like, oh
You
my
wish-
gosh, I'm glad I didn't go to
You
college.
wish, huh?
I'm glad
You're
I got
like-
a real job.
You're like
instead of getting
really,
indoctrinated
you're like
by
really
some
envious of me, aren't you?
college, dude. Holy
This
crap.
really hurts your self-esteem and your ego to not know as much as somebody who went to school
Why would I be envious of a liar with a hairnet?
with a
on TikTok?
hairnet. It's tied back, bro. I have more hair than
You
you'll
get
ever
the
have.
point. I'm not even gonna bring that up. You guys get sensitive over stuff like that.
I mean, you started it, man. Look, so do you want to talk about maybe something simpler that your small, smooth brain can understand? Something like how the bottom of the clouds are illuminated, whereas the top of the clouds are dark during a sunset?
So you're just changing the subject.
Well, I'm trying to make it simpler for you.
You want me to make it simple for you guys?
I mean, like,
When a plane
Do you
goes
want to address
straight
what I
over
just
the
said?
Earth, there's clearly no curve, right? For what you
So,
can see. How
I
come
already explained why
supposedly
that's
they
the
just
case.
curve?
I already explained how
Can we
they
bring
curve.
up that picture of the ship then? Can we bring up the
which
picture of the ship where it's just basic kindergartner perspective
Which ship?
and it's not dropping off the shape of the Earth?
Which ship?
The ship that supposedly is going with the curve of the Earth that you guys say is curve.
Is this a
'Cause you could
specific
debunk
ship?
that in 5 seconds.
Is this a specific ship that you have in mind?
No, it's supposedly every ship that goes around the curve of the Earth.
Yeah,
goes
okay.
out in the
Let me
distance. But
let
you
me
guys
pull
think
something up really
that's
quick.
Curvature, but it's not curvature. It's funny. Like you
One
guys.
sec. Let me pull something up for
Pretty
you.
sure I did learn that in like 2nd grade, like art class. So
Here, let's pull something up for you really quick.
yeah, you're welcome for all the views.
Yeah, thank you for the free content.
I got you.
Much appreciated.
Just tell everybody the truth. The 1.4 people. It's a lot.
Okay, here's a
Get used to
good
the truth,
video.
Chat. The truth is uncomfortable, chat.
You're right, it is uncomfortable for you. That's why you're giggling on the regular.
No, that's why you're on here lying and you're getting red. You're getting nervous and you're melting.
Do I look red?
You're melting, bro. Just chill.
Okay, so here's a video. This is using a Nikon P1000. Here's all the information, so we can skip forward if you want.
Dude knows the P1000
So here's
like the back of his hand.
So here's the
You know
location.
it debunks curvature, you liar.
Here's the location of the images we're gonna see. Here's the final position of the cruise ship. This is the camera. There's the camera, you know, it's at sea level. Here's the ship. Now this is when it's fairly close. So you can see there's some information there. Here's the various decks, you can count them. There's 2 red lights there that are circled. And so that's what we're gonna be focusing on as it goes away. Now, here we have it. I'm just skipping forward. It's the same cruise ship.
Wow,
at this point, it is 9 kilometers. It's 9 kilometers away. We're gonna zoom in. At around 9 to 10 kilometers, we have lost a few meters in the first deck of the ship. Where did the first deck of the ship go?
Wait.
Mm-hmm.
The deck of the ship literally went a couple hundred to 1,000 feet further. That's all it is. How can you not understand that? It didn't drop down.
Wait, the first deck of the ship is further away than the top of the ship?
It went further away. You guys are saying it drops down behind the curvature. That's not what's happening.
Oh, okay. So you are a troll.
No, if you raise the camera up 10 feet, you'll know that you're just seeing the water because it's so close to you. You guys are...
So at a distance of 11.4 kilometers, we can see even fewer decks. Zoomed in again. This is at 12 kilometers.
You guys can't be serious. You know that water finds its level.
Another deck of the ship is obscured. At 14.5 kilometers away.
You ever poured a cup of water?
At the 15 kilometer mark, another deck and a bit are gone. The red lights are starting to dip out of view. See those red lights? You can still see them, but they're much closer to the water than they were earlier.
Hey, buddy.
At 19 kilometers, the red lights are completely out of view now. So here's the Nikon P1000. Here's the Nikon P1000 debunking the flat Earth, showing that indeed the cruise ship does dip behind the curvature of the Earth. Get wrecked, flat earther.
Wow.
Wow.
Is that really your get wrecked moment? Was that your moment right there?
It was pretty bad for you. You asked me to bring up the
These people have a PhD, chat. These people supposedly have a PhD. You cannot trust these people. Like, if you let me get a sentence off, you would hear what I'm saying. That if you raise the camera up, it would prove that water obviously finds its level in a container. Like the Earth has to be a container.
Why is it that the red lights? Why were the red lights obstructed by the water?
Oh my gosh, you guys don't understand like basic perspective, basic camera angles. Like,
why are the red lights obstructed by the water?
Can be serious.
Why are the red lights obstructed by the water?
Well, because your camera is a foot off the water and you could only see so much water before it disappears. So doesn't mean the Earth is a ball.
Here's the relevant point. The relevant point is that the part of the ship that is above the water is this much. Think about it, right? That's the part of the ship that's above the water.
Earth would be so small if there's that much curvature.
That's like 50 feet above the water. So
it's only 8 inches per mile squared. That's not even
Look, you gotta stop talking for a sec, okay? So somehow the camera is a foot off the water. Somehow there are 50-foot waves blocking these red lights from being visible. How does that work? How are those red lights being blocked? Where are these 50-foot waves? And why are they only once it gets to 19 kilometers out?
You're just muting me like a kid.
I did mute you because you wouldn't let me get a sentence out.
Childish.
Try more.
Can I talk?
Yeah, can you respond to what I said?
Yeah, don't interrupt me this time. Like, you trying to have a debate, or are you just trying to mute people?
So respond to why the red lights are obstructed.
Yeah, so give me a second to speak this time. So
go ahead.
It's clear that if the Earth was that small to where there's that much curvature for those lights to go over the curve of the Earth, supposedly, then the Earth would be a tiny ball. Like, if it's so small and there's that much curve, how come it takes hours and hours to fly across the Earth?
Do you want to go calculate how far away
you guys are liars, and that does not prove curvature.
Do you want to go look up or calculate how far away the ship should be on a standard
No, I
size
don't need
globe Earth?
calculations. That's basic perspective.
I
Let me
don't
see your
need
fake little program that you
calculations.
have. Pull it up.
I don't need calculations.
You
I
guys are
just
so
need
easy to
basic
debunk. You guys are in
perspective.
2026 saying that the Earth was a ball. Everybody knows it's not.
19 kilometers is what? Like 13 miles?
You didn't mention 8 inches per mile squared. How come? It's because
Why
that's
would I
more
use
than 8
8
inches
inches?
per mile
Why would I
squared.
use 8 inches per mile squared?
Because that picture is clearly
it's
more
not
than 8 inches
relevant.
per mile, right?
So
the picture is not multiple
here you go.
miles away, huh?
So here's the advanced
So you
Earth
bring
curve
up your
calculator.
program that has everything indoctrinated into
it does.
already.
It does the calculations for us. So
Oh my gosh.
if I put the cruise ship, so I put the lights at about 50 feet up. It's approximate.
You
but
realize your little programs don't
I
prove anything.
put the lights at about 50 feet up. The Earth's curvature in this program is exactly as you would expect for the standard globe Earth with a radius of 4,000 miles. I put the observer height at 1 mile. I put the target distance at about 10 miles away. And we see that at about 10 miles away, that's when the red lights start to disappear. So that, in fact, is exactly what you would expect for an Earth that's 4,000 miles in radius. It's not
Well,
smaller
so
than you would
good.
expect.
This doesn't prove nothing, bro. This doesn't prove anything, dude.
You understand how I was just addressing what you were saying, right?
If I were to make my own website like this to prove it's flat, you guys would deny it.
It's just a
So
basic
you guys
calculator.
Won't accept, like, no, this is not.
Sure it is.
I don't just take anything you guys say as proof like you guys do online. You guys can't just.
Do you want
you
me
can't
to
just look
do you
at
want me to
CNN and be
calculate?
like, oh, they're telling
Do you
the
want me to
truth.
calculate by hand for you how far away you have to be
Just
to
because
be
it's
able
on
to
the
have something
CBS
get
Kids channel
obstructed?
doesn't mean it's true, bro. Just because you've seen it on CBS Kids doesn't mean
Do you
it's true.
understand how I addressed what you said, or are you not understanding?
Well, clearly, I understand more than you.
Okay, so can you
Yours
repeat
is
back to me
wrong.
what I said and how it addresses what you said?
Well, everything you're saying is just like not relevant to anything I'm thinking.
So is that a no? Sounds like a no.
So no, I don't remember what you said because I don't really care. So
Okay. Surely that's the
just
case.
debunked you
Thanks
like-
for being here.
I debunked you like 4.
I'm actually pretty sure that he was a troll, like the whole time. I think that he's a globe earther, but he does a convincing flat earther, so we'll keep him on and we'll put him on YouTube anyway. Let us bring on our next guest. I want to make sure. Okay. 1 sec, everybody. Actually, let's read some super chats and we'll bring on our next guest after that. So I want to make sure that I don't miss any. I have to scroll ways back. From Allied Master Computer with the $2. My vacuum sucks. I named it Brickney. Allied, be cool. Be cool. And from L'Oreal Ashley, as always, it's always good to see you. Flat Earthers are making AI images claiming they're from the Artemis mission just to say they're AI. None being officially released by NASA, Flat Earth is just a mental derangement. Yeah, I'd love to see that these AI images can be found on NASA's website. From Preston Thorpe, thank you for the $2. From Bacon Bush with the $5, I would like to state for the record that this guy's mother is a hamster and his father smells of elderberry. I fart in his general direction. Yeah, that's fair. That's a fair explanation of what we just heard. From Otto with the $2, Bobby Shafto on YouTube does great boats on H2O videos. I believe it. From Game Boy, thank you for the $1. And from Orion Cooper with the $2, lol, the last guest's account was suspended. Really? That checks out. All right, let's bring up our next guest. Let's talk to, just making sure that there isn't anybody in particular that I want to talk to. Let's talk to Gladiator Hub. Gladiator,
Hello.
how's it going?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. Gladiator, what shape do you think the Earth is?
70% sure it's not a ball.
Did you say you're 80% sure?
70.
70% sure. Okay.
Yeah.
And you're
I'm pretty convinced it's not a ball. Yeah.
okay. Why?
You know, actually, it's recently been these Artemis missions.
It's been the Artemis missions that convinced you that it's not a ball.
Well, it's made me more convinced.
Okay.
Because that last guest actually brought up a good point. He said ever since these Artemis missions happened, it seemed it's become a bit more of a talking point, you know? I
Yeah,
think a lot
so-
more people are getting convinced.
Well, I think that they're being louder. I think that it's very easy in today's age to just go onto a live stream and just shout AI. I don't know if that means that there's more of them, just probably that there are more of them that are just commenting. Anyway, what about the Artemis missions made you think that the Earth is not a globe?
Well, I think it's pretty obvious that they're faking the mission. They're lying to us.
How is that
and
obvious?
it's not just AI stuff. I think the AI stuff, you know, that you keep bringing up, that last donator keeps bringing up, I think that's actually getting pushed out as a counter to turn you away from looking into it.
So which
That's
part
not
about
real.
it? What part about it is obviously fake?
Okay, are you able to pull up videos on this stream with like audio?
I can, not with audio, no.
On YouTube?
Because
Oh, okay.
if there's audio, then it'll get like demonetized.
Oh, okay. Would I be able to like record it? It's just like a video from YouTube.
Well, what's the
It's- I mean,
video?
it's
we can
from
just
the-
we can just talk about it
it's-
if you want. I could probably pull
Well,
it up
it's
without
a live
audio.
stream. It's a live stream. Well,
Yeah,
the audio is quite important. But I mean, what we can do is we can get everyone can go and find it.
So
and they can
what's
watch
the
it at the same time?
Yeah, they could. So what's
Basically-
the video? We can talk about it.
So it's on NBC News. It's a live coverage of Artemis 2's moon flyby. It's posted 6 days ago. It's got about 700,000 views.
Okay, let me see if I can pull it up. Yeah, okay, I found it.
So if you go to
It's 10 hours.
what is it?
What's the time stamp
Well,
that you need?
yeah, let's not watch the whole thing. Let's just
Yeah.
go to 9 hours 54, right?
Okay, 9 hours 54. So this is the video,
About
right?
9. Yeah, that's it.
Okay. So right about here?
Yeah, about here. Maybe if you go a bit forward when they get off this.
Yeah, you mean like
CGI
here?
animation
Mhm.
that they always like to use.
So here?
So yeah, about here is
Mhm.
basically if you just give it a pause, you can see they're all there, right?
Well, 3 of them are
I
there.
want you to-
There's 4 astronauts, but yeah.
Oh right, yeah. 3 of them are there. Well, the guy on the left, I want you to focus on the guy on the left. Basically, if you could
focusing on
hear
the
the
guy on the left.
audio, there's someone back at Houston talking, and you see how he puts his thumb out there? He does it before he's supposed to. He forgets about the delay, and then he does it again. You see that?
Okay,
What
so
do you think of
that's
that?
so I don't actually know what he was doing. I don't know why he was doing it.
Well, can you
Thumbs
hear
up
it?
if
I'm
you're
guessing
happy
you
with
can
it.
hear it.
No, I can't. Here, let's
And speed minutes out from an on-time start, and we have adjusted the fan speed. We'll take a thumbs up if you're happy with it.
Whoops, that's too quick. Pulls
Well,
back.
wait a minute. So he even put his thumbs up before they even asked for it. So it looks like he was just thumbs upping the other stuff.
No, he said if she goes, can we get a thumbs up? And he immediately does it like it's a
It
phone
seems
call.
like he put the thumbs up before she finished asking the question.
I mean, you can play it again.
Yeah, okay.
We'll take a thumbs up if you're happy with it.
See,
Bang,
he was
thumbs
middle.
up.
He was in the middle of moving his arm by the time that she was done. We can even just like look. When did he start moving his arms? We'll just go back
Right,
until.
and that's why.
So
the-
okay,
the gentleman-
so here's the frame. Here's the frame.
Mhm.
Happy with it.
So he was already moving his hand by the time
Yeah, but
that
that's
she
after
finished her
thumbs up.
sentence.
It's after thumbs up.
So is your evidence that this guy gave a thumbs up before
When he
she...
wasn't supposed to.
Okay,
Because he's on a
and
set
that's
and
what
he's
makes
not
you think?
actually in space, and there's not actually a big delay.
So do you
They're not
think
actually in
that?
space.
So do you think that some people just give thumbs up sometimes?
Yeah.
Okay, so is it
Yeah.
possible that he was giving a thumbs up to the statements that were made earlier?
Well, the lengths that you people
Fan
will go.
speed. We'll take a thumbs up if
So like,
Bam,
So
thumbs
she
up,
says-
and then bam, he reacts.
to be clear,
I mean,
so they say.
and we have adjusted the fan speed. We'll
So they say we have adjusted the fan speed. Is it possible that he heard that and then he gave a thumbs up? Because he's the kind of guy that gives thumbs up. Is that possible?
yeah, that's possible.
Okay, so is
But is what I'm saying not
is the-
possible?
the level of credence that you should have in some guy giving a thumbs up because he heard something and then the person mentioning a thumbs up at the same time should be way higher than this entire mission was faked.
Well, there's
Because
so
you
much.
saw a
other
guy give a
different
thumbs up
inconsistencies.
you saw a guy give a thumbs up and a second and a half before you think he should have.
Well, there's a delay. There's a delay.
Right, but he could have been thumbs upping something earlier.
Even that should have. There should have been more of a delay.
A 1.5. It's like 1.5 second delay.
It's not that much. If you go and count like normally when they do it,
So just to
like
be
on
clear,
a completely other point, there's normally like a 4-second delay.
integrity Houston. We are 3 minutes out from
so when they say we are 3
From an
minutes out from an
on-time start?
on-time start, he could be
Right.
thumbs upping right then. He like right when he hears that, that could be
And
exactly when that could be exactly
We have
when he
adjusted the
starts thumbing
fan-
up. Also,
Right.
are we hearing live from Houston or are we hearing it when they hear it?
I'm comparing it to the rest of the video, and I'm comparing the consistency, and it's that you're saying could it be this? Let's
Right,
not
so-
ignore the point that she specifically asks for a thumbs up, and immediately after he puts a thumbs up. How is my scenario not the more likely one?
So perhaps look, I'm not going to say
this is the smoking gun, ladies and gentlemen.
This is the smoking gun for you. So
this is
perhaps it's the case.
Forgery.
Gladiator. Perhaps it's the case. There's a non-zero possibility that you're right about this. However, there's also a non-zero possibility that A, we're hearing the audio at the same time they're hearing it, that B, he knew what she was asking because they've rehearsed this in the past about what we're going to ask you to do when we are asking for confirmation, because obviously they're going
they definitely rehearsed it.
They're going to do practice runs, right? And C, it's possible he's just a thumbs up kind of guy. So if this is the kind of thing that is the smoking gun for you, then surely when you have individual amateur astronomers tracking the Artemis, the Orion capsule while it's in space, I can find it for you if you want.
Like they saw it?
Yeah, with telescopes.
That's pretty cool.
One sec. Yeah, it is really neat, by the way.
This whole Artemis mission really, it's been easy to spot them, but I just thought that one was the most clear, you know?
But I mean, like, this should be shocking for you too. That, like, if it was fake, if the Earth was not flat, then they shouldn't have been able to track the actual Artemis capsule, right? Let me see if I can find a good clip, because there were a lot of people who did this, because it actually wasn't that hard to do. But I just want to find yeah, there we go. So this is probably, I mean, maybe this is not the best one, but here's a good example of one. So here's a guy, he's just a guy on YouTube. He goes by Astro Creation. He pointed his telescope where the Orion telescope was, or the Orion capsule was supposed to be. And here you can see it moving on his, in his subsequent frames. One moment, he's gonna play it in a sec.
Is this him like looking through a telescope?
This is looking at the data that his telescope captured. So you can see the file names that his telescope took, like the pictures. You can see them on the right. And so he's about to scroll through them. See that? What's that moving?
With the little light there.
Yeah, the little light in the middle.
The little pinprick of light.
Yep. Exactly where it's supposed to be.
That to me
by
looks like a light.
Well, except it's exactly where it's supposed to be, according to NASA.
Okay.
Right?
Oh, okay. According to the people telling us the story, there's a light where it's supposed to be.
Yeah, so...
How do we know that's an Orion capsule going around the moon?
How could they know that there was going to be something there in advance if they didn't put it there?
Who's they?
NASA.
Well, NASA did put it there.
So you agree that NASA put something in space?
Well, I don't know that's in space. It's just a pinprick of light in the sky.
Where is it?
It's a light in the sky. That's what it looks like to me.
How is NASA putting a light in the sky?
You're just taking the context of what NASA is saying.
Wait, how is NASA putting a light in the sky?
Looking at a light in the sky.
How is NASA putting a light in the sky?
I don't know, a high altitude plane, a drone. You know, NASA gets like billions and billions a year. Like, it's a pretty big budget. It don't cost that much to put a light in the sky. When you look up in the sky and you see a satellite, like, what does it look like? It looks like a light.
we have a special guest. I guess Dean Withers wants to come on. I guess he has something interesting to add here. So we'll bring Dean up.
The Dean Withers?
The Dean Withers. He's a friend of mine.
Oh my God,
Blitz, I feel like it's been a really long time, man. Hope you've been well.
Yeah, I'm recovering from some surgery, but I'm doing okay. Dean, you have something to add here?
Yeah, I do. So I just want to get this straight. I could go on my computer right now and download a digital soundboard that will delay my microphone input by 2 to 5 seconds if I wanted to join a Discord call. But you're telling me that this multi-billion-dollar federal entity that is able to perfectly fake zero gravity for hours on end and make it seem as if we went to the moon and back could not fake a delayed transmission with something such as a soundboard. That's what disputes your claim here, is that we know that the astronauts did not hear Houston the moment when Houston spoke, because even if it were to be fake, Houston would be able to fake delay their transmissions to the Orion astronauts to make it look more real with a soundboard in less than 30 seconds. It's so easy, even you could do it from home. So that's why we are going to rely on all of the other evidence that this thing is real and the fact that he was giving a thumbs up in response to something else, probably what Blitz pointed out earlier.
So it's just coincidental about her saying, "Can we get a thumbs up?" And also, just
the clarification here, just to be clear, the point that Dean's making is merely that why would they bother trying to tell the astronauts to act as if there is a delay when they could just have the astronauts? They could just add their own delay, right? They're going to be mic'd up separately anyway. Obviously the message, the recording that they're getting from Houston is going to be on a separate audio track, so they could just delay it in post.
Yeah, I mean, this is where it gets a bit more tinfoily, but a lot of us in this space, we believe that they do purposely like put out these things for you to see because they're not really allowed to. They kind of have to tell the truth from what they're doing. That is why it looks so shoddy.
So they have to tell the truth, but they're also trying to lie? What's going on here?
Yeah, I know. I mean, you got to do your research into it. I know it sounds crazy, of course it does, but
it does sound crazy. Why would anyone believe that? What are their motivations to tell the truth and also to lie?
The independent research, that's why.
The independent research. You mean like the guy who was obviously detecting a spacecraft that was put into space by NASA in the place that they thought?
In the sky, man.
Okay, so where did the light come from?
It came from a source in the sky. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, can you not get high altitude planes and drones?
Look, so it seems like NASA's going through.
Could you tell the difference, Blitz? Could I ask you something really quick? Would you be able to tell the difference between a high altitude like spy drone, you know, these crazy ones that they have, emitting a tiny light, and could you tell the difference between that and what they say is a satellite in space? Could you tell the difference? Yeah,
you could, and you could use something called parallax, but I'm not going to let you deflect. The reason I brought up NASA putting this light in the sky is because if NASA's going through all the effort to make this fake, why are they letting through little tiny leaks?
Because again, that goes back to they have to put it in there that they're lying. It's like a karmic thing.
Why do they have to do that?
Because that's what they believe. That's what they believe.
Wait. What is your evidence that is what they believe?
If you do your research into like basic like Freemasonic, you know, beliefs and
wait, I'm pretty sure
they think that the person that they're.
I'm pretty sure it sounds like you've done your research. So
I've done my own research.
Would you mind sharing that research with us to convince us that when this astronaut gave a thumbs up, the moment while Houston was making a transmission, this was that astronaut responding to the... You know what? Here's a better question. I could dispute this as well. I know that the astronauts on board Orion did not fake the delay in the transmissions from Houston's because they're consistent and the delay only increased the further away they got from Houston and the closer they got to the moon. If it was fake, then how would it be so reliably consistent?
Because they keep changing it based on where they would be. But obviously at this point, at the end of the 10-hour live stream, this guy on the left is getting a bit tired and he messes up when he hears thumbs up, he immediately does it. And if you look at the reaction of the black gentleman to his right,
there's a problem here, right?
He looks stressed. He looks embarrassed.
There's a problem here. There's a problem here. Look, so the claim is that they didn't add the delay in post, right? Because otherwise, this guy wouldn't have been able to respond early. So if it's the case that the actors were trained to have a certain amount of delay, then they would need to be able to adjust their delay microscopically as time went on. And it sounds like that's a little bit of a stretch, especially because you're also claiming that one of those astronauts, actors as you might call them, just kind of screwed up, right? They just screwed up even though they were able to get the delay perfect in an increasing amount as time went on as they got further and further away. But just this one time he screwed up. It's a little bit far-fetched, don't you think?
Yeah, and to even add on top of that, like you were bringing up earlier, Blitz, he threw the thumbs up right as she said thumbs up. Not even until she
No, that's not true.
Asking him why.
If you can go back to the video and play the audio, that's disingenuous, Dean.
One moment. He threw the thumbs up right as she said thumbs up. And not even, she didn't even wait until she was done asking him like why he was to throw the thumbs up, like if everything's good. So, to your point, Blitz here, yeah, this is incredibly far-fetched. Like a Gladiator, if I was to have a 10-hour back and forth, I'm almost done. Gladiator, if I was to have a 10-hour back and forth conversation with you, but I was to also request that in every response that you give to me, you add a 1 second delay. But then every 30 seconds, make sure to add 1/100th of a second. And then over the course of the 10 hours, that delay would increase by seconds.
Yeah,
And
but
then
you're talking as if that
randomly,
they're
I
talking
want you to
throughout the whole.
respond to me before I'm even done
Okay.
with my sentence. That's insane. That's
but
not plausible.
You're talking as if throughout that whole 10-hour live stream is these astronauts talking to someone. It's not. It's like little bits throughout. So it's not like every single time they get further and further away, they have to increase the delay. So again, you're just being disingenuous. If you go throughout the whole 10-hour video, there's only like 2 points where the astronauts are actually talking to, Houston or whatever. Most of it, of course, is just CGI animations.
To
and
be
it's
clear,
just so funny how you two
I
are
think
so
it's-
okay with this.
I think it's probably, and I haven't watched the 10-hour live stream, but I think it's probably far-fetched to say that they only talked with Houston a few times. Probably what happened is that for most of the interactions, they just weren't broadcasting that because they were busy broadcasting
I know.
something else, right? So
I'm not saying they should be, but I'm just using that as my point to counter Dean's.
I mean,
do you understand my point?
All you need is a few data points, right? You only need a few different moments when the broadcast happened and to measure a delay. That's all you need.
Yeah. Well,
if it varies, then that means that they trained the astronauts to have those delays so well that this is the only time a screw up happened.
It's not the only time a screw up happened. There's been screw ups throughout the whole mission.
Where else
That's
were
why
the
there's so
delay-
many
where
people
else
getting
were
turned
those
into
delay
moon
screw-ups?
landing deniers and flat earthers. Like, I'm not even a full flat earther. I just have my doubts.
Okay,
and,
so
and this
look,
whole mission has just further made
we
me have my
can
doubts.
deviate a little bit. We could say, okay, so that is a piece of it. Let's even call that a piece of evidence that this that this was not real. Now let's look at all of the other evidence that it is real. So I've already brought up this kind of video, and we have a whole bunch of pieces of data that the Orion capsule is in the place that NASA said it is. Right? That is
How does that
evidence.
prove anything?
Well, look. The point is that it is expected, given the hypothesis, that NASA put the Orion spacecraft in space. That is what's expected, and so the fact that we make those observations means that it's evidence. In the same way that you would expect that the delay would always be present, and obviously present if there was such a delay, and so we can even say that your clip is evidence. So now we just have to weigh the evidence, right? So
your evidence is not provable.
Your evidence isn't provable either, right? We can't prove that the guy actually gave that intending to respond to the thumbs up request by the woman in Houston. We can't prove that. No, we can't.
You hear us say, "Can we get a thumbs up?" He puts his thumbs up, and then he gets really embarrassed, and he pulls his thumb away. And can I ever finish?
We can't prove.
Am I allowed to do that, or do I have to wait for
only
you
if you're not going to interrupt me? Are you going to not interrupt me?
No, go ahead.
Okay, so the point is we can't, there are other alternative explanations in the same way that you're giving an alternative explanation for this piece of data. So, okay, there's an alternative explanation for both pieces of data, but we'll consider those both as pieces of evidence, maybe even equal pieces of evidence. Well, what about all of the extra evidence that we have from the Orion spacecraft? Namely, that something fell from the sky, something fell from the sky with signs of re-entry burns. That's a piece of evidence. Right, and then we caught that thing, and that was what the capsule was. There's also the piece of evidence that we saw that hundreds of thousands of people witnessed this rocket going to space. Sorry.
Shall we just stick on that piece of evidence? I mean, that's a good one, right? That's probably the one that most people use, right? You saw the rocket go up, and you saw the capsule come down.
What I'm giving you is individual pieces of evidence, and you could probably nitpick and find problems or find small probability problems with each of these. But the point is that you're going to have 100 pieces of evidence, each of which might have a nitpick that you can find an issue with. Why should I be able
to do that?
Alternatively, you have one piece of evidence that also has a small probability nitpick. No. So which is more overwhelming?
No, there's lots. There's the one that I showed is just one mess up they've done. There's lots of green screen errors. There's lots of wire delay.
Are you talking about the CNN green screen error? The one with the floating thing?
No, it's not even that one. It's the one where there's all stars in the background, and again, you can find it on an actual stream,
where there's no stars in the background, or there are stars in the background.
No. It's a shot from inside the capsule, and then in the bottom left corner, the stars start appearing, kind of like what it should be looking like on the outside. So it's like a green screen overlap.
You wouldn't be able to see stars on the outside anyway, unless you have a long exposure photograph.
Why can they never see stars as well? I mean, that's just crazy, right?
Because it requires long exposure time, or it requires extreme darkness. So if you have a video
in space.
you have a video that is being recorded on like the interior of a spacecraft, as long as the lights are on in the interior of the spacecraft, if you pointed it out the window, the exposure settings for your camera are going to be such that you're not able to see the stars because the stars are much dimmer than the light inside the spacecraft.
I mean, I can see whenever I'm on a plane and it's flying at night, I can see the stars, even if the lights are on in the plane.
Yes, because you're using your eyes to see the stars, not a digital camera to see the stars. Digital cameras have limitations that your eyes.
So you're telling me
do
the
not
astronauts
necessarily.
on this mission, they did see stars the whole time? Is that what you're saying?
So when it was dark, they would have seen stars, and in fact, the Orion astronauts did report seeing stars when they were on the when the sun was being obstructed. The sun and the Earth were being obstructed from the moon, or by the moon.
So that directly contradicts the reports of Apollo 11 astronauts. That's a bit strange,
So the
right? Because
Apollo,
Michael Collins says he doesn't recall seeing
astronauts,
stars.
The Apollo 11 astronauts were on the day side of the moon. Their
They
lights were
went to
adapted
the
to
moon. They
bright
said
light.
on the trip they do not recall seeing stars.
Whether or not they recall it is a different story of whether or not they saw them, right? In fact, I believe one of the Apollo 11 astronauts.
You can't nitpick what you do believe from NASA and what you don't.
I believe one
NASA
of the
told you that they didn't see stars.
I believe one of the Apollo astronauts actually said, "Actually, I think I do remember seeing stars." And one
No,
of the
he
others
said,
said,
"I don't."
"No, I don't." No, there was a conflict.
I
here.
do
There
not
was
recall
disagreement.
seeing anything.
There was a disagreement amongst the Apollo 11 astronauts because there were
How
three
is
of
there
them,
a
right?
disagreement? How can you disagree about that?
Some people may be more observant, may have better memory than the others.
They didn't see the stars. They were so unobservant. They didn't look out the window and see if there was stars.
So
or
just
not.
to be clear, do
These
you
people
think
are lying to your
that
face.
do you think that Buzz Aldrin and Neil Armstrong were busy, perhaps?
They were so busy that on their 10-day mission to the moon, they couldn't see
Wait a minute,
stars
we're not.
or not. They
So
couldn't verify.
Was Apollo 11 10
Oh,
days?
Jesus.
I don't remember off the top of my head if Apollo 11 was 10 days. But I mean, you don't think that
Doesn't
they were
matter.
busy, do you?
Of course, sure. Of course, they were busy. Fine.
Okay. So
They
do you think
don't
that
have
they
5
were
minutes a
maybe?
day.
So Apollo 11 was 8 days, by the way, but that's neither here nor there.
5 minutes a day. Just 5 minutes.
So look, it is possible.
Look out the window. Hey, I'm in
It is-
space.
It is
Wow.
possible
Did
that
you look at that?
some of
Stars.
them
Oh, no.
remember seeing the stars and some of them don't.
Oh,
But
so
what
I
is the
forgot.
case? What is
I
the
forgot
case?
if there were stars.
What is the
Right.
case is that the Orion 2 astronauts, sorry, the Artemis 2 astronauts, did report seeing stars.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's just a bit strange that people didn't report seeing stars at first.
If they were looking at the sky when it was daytime, they wouldn't see stars.
Daytime.
Yeah, the moon has a day and a night.
Right,
don't know if
but
you
they're
knew
not.
that.
They weren't on the moon the whole time. They spent a whole trip going from Earth to the moon, around it, landing on it, and back.
So
Michael Collins said on that whole trip, he was like, "I do not recall seeing any stars." And
Did
then
he?
Neil Armstrong looks at him and he's like, "What the hell? These like, there's so many. Have you seen this Artemis to?
So, wait a minute, hold
the
on,
woman?
I'm
Have you seen
sorry.
her recent mess up?
I'm sorry, hold on. Let's because I'm just Googling this because I'm not sure if I believe you.
Because you haven't done your research.
So
I know more
Michael
about it than you.
Collins, in the book that Michael Collins wrote, he said, "Outside my window, I can see
He contradicts
stars,
himself.
and that is all."
Exactly, he contradicts himself.
Okay.
He writes the book years later and he contradicts himself because
Oh,
if you
so
watch
he
the
did say that
post-flight
he did say that he could
press
see stars.
conference-
I'm glad we agree.
No, let me finish. If you watch, and you can pull it
okay.
up, these
So
2,000
you believe
people in
them?
here.
So you believe them at one point, but not at the
I
other
believe
point.
that when the memory's most fresh, yeah, absolutely. The post-flight
okay.
press conference, when they got down and they're talking about it,
What was
of course I believe them.
what was the specific question that he was asked? Because if the specific question that he
If
was
they could
asked
see
was,
stars.
was that it verbatim?
We can go look this
Yes.
up. We can
The
go look
fact
this
that
up
you
if you
two
want.
don't know this shows that you've never looked into it.
Okay,
That's
perfect.
the hilarious thing about this
Okay,
whole conversation.
perfect. So since the question verbatim was, "Have you seen stars?" Well, if he says no, well, this could actually be situationally true in many contexts. Like, for instance, when standing in a very bright sunlight spot on the surface of the moon, which is the most notable event that occurred during Apollo 11, clearly. Okay? Or, like, for instance...
Have you
when
watched the video, Dean?
Have I watched the video of the moon
Yeah.
on the moon?
No, you see, you don't even know what video I'm talking about. The post-flight Apollo 11 press conference where Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, and Michael Collins they're talking about the most historic thing that's ever gone on. You've never watched that, Dean?
Wait a
No.
minute, just to
I
be
do know that
clear.
they landed on the moon, though, because we could point lasers at the
No,
reflectors that they
because
left on the
drones,
surface.
because
And we can also
Russian,
see with
unmanned
telescopes the
Russian
landing
probes
site
put
of
those
Apollo
lasers on the
11.
moon So
You know, look, I'm actually a little bit curious here because you said that it was the
You should look
Artemis
into it,
2
Dean.
mission. You said that it was the Artemis 2 mission, Gladiator, that made you more convinced that the Earth was a globe. And now it seems like that when I mentioned that the Artemis 2 astronauts could see the stars, you're deflecting to something 50 years ago. So were you lying to me about it being the Artemis 2 mission that made you think that the Earth was less likely to be a globe? Or what?
Wait, what do you mean if I'm lying? No.
Wait,
what I meant was it
Sounds like you are.
re-sparks this interest in me. No, I'm
Wait,
not
Blitz,
lying.
did you just hear what he said?
No, I didn't. What did he say?
Oh, it was very important. It was very important because I brought up the reflectors that the Apollo 11 astronauts left on the lunar surface that kind of proves the moon landing. And then he responded by saying, no, that wasn't from any human landing on the moon. That was from unmanned missions.
Did you say that?
Well, that's what they say.
Dropped them on the moon. Yes.
They say that
Now,
Russians
now
did
the
it.
issue with this is that this guy thinks
No, it doesn't prove that
we
humans went to
therefore,
the moon.
one moment. So therefore, what this means is that this guy thinks that we had the technology to send unmanned missions to the
I
moon
don't.
60 years ago.
I don't.
So why don't you think
No,
that
I
we
don't.
have the
Don't
technology to
tell
send
me what
manned
I
missions?
think. I don't think that.
Well, you just told me that you think
I don't
we
think
sent
we
an
can leave
unmanned mission
Earth.
rover to the moon to leave the reflectors there.
No, I'm saying it makes it so you can't say that humans went and did it. I'm saying
Wait, so
no,
then what's your
because
explanation?
allegedly they were put there before humans ever
Wait,
went.
so what's your explanation? How do you think those reflectors got on the lunar surface?
I don't think there's anything on lunar surface. I don't think there is a lunar surface. I don't think it's a thing to land on.
You unironically could go build a laser, attach it to a telescope, and prove that the reflectors are on the lunar surface yourself. If this was not the case, then why hasn't there been a single flat earther that has ever lived that has done that and disproved it?
So a laser reflector, you see a laser like shine back at you from the moon? Is that what you see?
Yes, from the very specific spots where these reflectors are.
Is it or is it just like a bunch of data on a screen? Is that what it is? It's not actually like a laser.
I mean, it is data on a
You
screen.
don't actually see
It
like
is-
a green laser
well,
pointing back from the moon, do you?
So it is a laser going there, and it's a laser coming back, but it is data, yeah. Do we not trust like scientific instruments now?
I don't trust data that isn't there to be verified. No,
You don't trust data that is
Wait,
there to be
any-
not
verified.
data that I
Like I-
can't
like I
verify
just said,
myself.
any-
'Cause, I
anybody-
can't go to the moon and I can't verify. there's
Wait,
anything there, so-
can you verify yourself that I'm a real person and not an AI chatbot?
I
That's
mean,
true.
you're pretty well known on TikTok, so I mean, yeah.
Dean was actually
And
a
I could
construct.
actually, yeah, I could, Dean. Dean, you know what, I could.
Dean was
So
actually a construct
that's
that I
straw man
produced in
argument.
the early 2020s as an attempt to surpass Parker, and my AI chatbot has indeed succeeded.
Mm-hmm. Right. I mean, I could prove that you're real, Dean. Yes. I mean, we could both right now. I could say, hey, what's your address? Let me come to your house. I'll come say hi. That
Okay, yeah,
is
just
an
like-
actual
just like
thing
you
we
could
could do.
build-
Obviously, we're not
just-
going to,
but
but
wait,
that's
wait,
a
wait,
thing
wait,
that we could
wait.
do.
Obviously,
Could
you're
you
not
go
going
to the moon,
but
Dean?
Obviously, you're not going to, but you could build a laser and
Can
affix it
you go
a
to the moon,
telescope
Dean?
and get data to prove that the reflectors are on the lunar surface.
Can you go prove those reflectors are on a lunar surface? with
Yes, you
yourself?
can prove that the reflectors are on the lunar surface by building a laser, connecting it to a telescope, and collecting the data. It's literally something that you could do. People literally do this, by the way.
Yeah, there's a lot of astronomers and stuff. Yeah.
I'm actually a little curious as to why it is the case that Michael Collins would say, I don't remember seeing any if it was fake.
Because he didn't know what to say. He messed up his lines.
Oh, okay. So it seems like that your account of why all of these moon missions were fake
Why
is
do you
because
think he would
people
say
are
it?
just screwing up all the time. Well,
Sometimes,
so to be
yeah.
clear, I found a
I
transcript.
think they feel
He's-
bad.
So he said, I found a transcript of the interview. He said, I don't remember seeing any. Namely, I don't remember seeing any. Now,
Yeah, that's basically saying I didn't see any.
no, it means that he doesn't remember seeing any.
So
Wait,
you
wait,
think
I have a
this is
question.
what you're
Do you
telling me,
remember
right?
what
You're
you
telling
ate
me
for
that
dinner?
you wouldn't
Wait.
remember.
Do you remember
if
what you
you
ate
saw
for dinner
stars
3
or not
months
in
ago?
space? Are you joking me?
So the important point is that you can't see the stars when it's daytime. And so the only chance that he would have to see the stars is if the window is pointed away from the moon, away from the earth, and it's nighttime, and he's looking out, and it's
Do
also
you think
away
that
from the
ever
sun.
happened?
I mean, it could have happened, but it's
But do you not think it's likely that happened?
the conditions to make that happen are not trivial.
I think they are.
You think that that those
Do you know
conditions
why?
were
Because
trivial?
was it-
You
wait,
have to
correct
have
me
the
if I'm
sun,
wrong. I
the
might be wrong
moon,
on this,
and the
but was
earth
Michael Collins
all not within frame, right? And you have to have the windows pointed out, like not towards the moon.
Michael Collins was in the capsule, right? when they landed on the moon. He didn't go down, right?
Yeah, he didn't go down.
So he was orbiting the moon as they were down.
Yep.
So is it not likely that at some point, like, the moon was blocking out the sun somewhat?
It could have been, but then you would need to have the capsule also have its mirror, or not mirror, sorry, its window pointed in the other direction.
Didn't have like three windows on each side?
We can go look if you want.
I'm sure it did. If it just had one window, that's pretty weird.
Oh, and on top of that all, your eyes would have to be adjusted to the dark.
Your eyes would have to be adjusted.
That's true. That's true. Actually, if it was bright on the inside, you would have a hard time seeing the stars on the outside.
Right.
So we can go look up the lunar orbiter. 1969. Lunar Module Eagle, I think it was called.
They did this, by the way.
Yeah.
And we're getting all excited that we're doing it again in 2026, but we landed on the moon in 1969.
Yeah.
Yes.
So who cares? Like, who cares then, right?
I mean, it's still an achievement.
Like, is
it?
Is that an achievement?
Wait. I know that.
We've already been.
I know that a lot of
we played golf on the moon.
I know that a lot of flat earthers are like weirdly Christian. Are you weirdly Christian?
First of all, I'm not a flat earther. Don't assume my identity. But I'm not weirdly Christian. No, I'm not really religious.
Oh, because what I was gonna say there is, well, Jesus has already came to Earth once. Would we get excited if he came back again? Like, listen, the point is,
I'm not Christian.
This is exciting to a lot of people because we haven't been there in so long. And frankly, there's actually a lot of people, such as myself and you, by the way, and fucking Blitz, by the way, that were not alive to see the first moon landing. That's why so many people.
Crazy, I know.
But listen, like I said, there's just so many like inconsistencies within like the theories that you're espousing. I just wonder what it'd be like to exist as such a delusional person. You know, like on the Artemis 2 mission, right? There's like literally no way that humans have to like fake zero gravity for like extended.
I mean, there is. There's a multitude of ways that they can.
How do you fake it?
I mean, you've watched Interstellar, you've watched space films. Have you seen those zero gravity planes that you can go on that simulate zero gravity? Like,
are you fucking quoting a movie?
I'm giving you multiple different ways that humans have simulated zero gravity.
And not to tilt the conversation back in the opposite direction, but I did just want to show you I found a nice reconstruction of the lunar orbiting module.
Wait, which one is this? The current one or the
Apollo 11? This is the one that Apollo 11 used.
Look, they got a few windows, right?
Nope, that tiny thing is one window, and they have one more on the other side.
Okay, so they got two
small windows
on each side. Well, that's handy.
No,
so
one on each side.
Yeah. So one on each side.
Yeah, but I mean they're both angled in the same direction, right? So they're not like flat.
I mean, the notion that you know,
look how small those windows are.
None of these astronauts had any time. Sorry?
Look how small those windows are. No, the point is that none of them didn't have any time. The point is that Michael Collins was almost certainly busy doing other things. He wasn't up there just jorking it, right?
So he didn't have the time.
So no, he may have glanced out the window, but maybe the lights were on and he didn't see anything. Look, the point is that there are plenty of good explanations for why Michael Collins.
What was he doing?
Do you want to look up what the transcript was between Michael Collins and Houston during the entirety of the Apollo 11 landing?
No, that'd be pretty boring. Let's not do that.
So he wasn't up there just jorking it, surely. Or unless you think he was, I guess.
Hell no. I mean, actually, would you not try that if you were up there? I mean,
what a weirdo. Yeah, can you explain how humans could fake zero gravity for extended periods of time, such as hours or days?
First of all, it doesn't have to be hours or days.
Okay, well, actually, yes. For Artemis 2, it would have to be hours.
Why?
Because there were periods where we got hours of fake extended gravity on camera.
Find it. Find an hour long uncut zero gravity. Find it. Hour long. Dean, you haven't watched this stuff, and you're talking about this is like me coming into your life and talking about Trump, and I'm British. I know nothing about Trump.
I tuned in for 2 days of it. I watched. You watched it went up, and then,
2 whole days, right? You weren't on your phone.
I listened to it like literally all day. Yeah.
So were you not disappointed?
Was I not disappointed? No. So tell me,
how humans the lack of footage, how it was all just like shitty.
Tell me.
Sorry, say that again.
Tell me how they faked the zero G. Tell me.
Are you aware of these like parabolic flight? So that the zero G
yes, I am.
Well, I mean that's one way they could fake it.
Okay, so
are you
prove
aware
that they
of
did that.
Are you aware of just film trickery? Wires, zero.
Parabolic flights. One moment. Parabolic flights will only give you periods of zero gravity for around 2 minutes. Okay, but like
that's for the 2 minute clips. That's for the short 2 minute clips.
So we have a 20-minute clip, by the way, of them being in zero gravity.
Okay, well you could do it for 20 minutes. Look at that guy.
You can't do a parabolic flight for 20 minutes. No,
lying down. And look at the hair. This is the biggest one for me, people. Look at the hair. Everyone in
What about
chat,
the
look
hair?
at the woman's hair.
What about it?
It's hairspray. That's not what. Why is it like so rigid?
So it's actually an interesting question, and I've thought about this a lot, and I eventually found an answer.
I'm sure you have, because you know it's flat.
So
yeah, but you're
Gladiator. If you want to hear an explanation, I can give you one. So
Sure.
human
Why
hair,
are they wearing hairspray in space?
human hair is naturally rigid, right? Like it is structured. These are cells that are locked together. And so when there's gravity present, when there's gravity present, it falls, right? But like, it's not just wiggling around willy-nilly, right? It's just sitting in a certain orientation. However, if there's no gravity, it will just point in the direction that it grows in. And that's why you often see like people will be like, oh, why is her hair sticking straight up? Because that's the direction that the hair grows in. And if there's no reason,
but it shouldn't look like that.
Why not? Wait, why not? Why not?
Because you can go right now, you can go and find a video of a zero-G flight, right? Which, you know, members of the public can get, where they simulate this sort of gravity. And you look at a woman's hair and it's like free flowing. It's like almost like she's underwater. But here it's like,
so to be clear, being underwater is distinct from being in zero-G. I can go find you a clip if you want.
It doesn't make any sense.
Wait, also, this is going to change depending on hair texture.
Yep, it
absolutely does. It's for all the women.
One moment.
Like on the ISS.
One moment. It's going to depend on hair texture. It's going to depend on hair thickness. It's going to depend on if their hair is like curly or straight. It's going to depend if they have it in a ponytail or not. In that clip, it is in a ponytail, so it's going to be a little bit more bundled up and congested. Therefore, it's probably going to move a little bit more rigid. But all of this aside, all right, there's other indicators, even just in the screenshot that Blitz just showed, even if we ignore the fact that we can watch it and just clearly see that they're in zero-G because they're moving, they're fucking floating around, dude. Like, I don't know, use your eyes.
Oh my God, Matthew McConaughey was floating around in Interstellar. Did you see that, Dean? Did you see it?
In a movie? Yes, I saw it.
Yeah, because you know it's a movie. This is a movie, but they're telling you it's real life. It's not that hard to grasp.
Wait.
It's just because the lie's so big, it's
Here,
like, it's
by
an
the way,
insult to your intelligence. Like,
You understood that this is a parabolic flight. Here's a parabolic flight video. Just pay attention to her hair and the way that it's oriented. One sec. So pay attention to her hair orientation right now.
Right.
See how those bits just stick straight out? They just stick
but look there.
It's the same orientation.
Play the video.
It's the same orientation.
Look, boom, it moves. Boom, it goes up and down,
It moved
up and down.
because she hit the ground.
Oh my God, this guy!
When she's not hitting the ground, it's staying in the same orientation. When she's not hitting stuff. See how it's staying in the same orientation?
Yeah, but now look, it looks different. Now look, her hair looks different there.
Hold on.
From like 2 seconds before.
It literally doesn't. It's still going backwards in a curly fashion.
No, you don't understand.
It's not free flowing. It's not free flowing. It's just in an orientation.
Okay, but like if you look at her hair right there, it's not in the same position as when the zero gravity first started, because obviously she's hit stuff, yada yada. Yes, it's still sticking up. I'm not saying that.
Yeah. So then what's the issue?
If you look at the women on the ISS, the woman on the Artemis mission, it's consistently just in the same place.
Yeah, because she's not ping-ponging around inside of the.
She's not bouncing off of stuff. Also, by the way, here's a clip. See how her hair's moving?
We can't see it.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oops. My bad.
What's hairspray?
See how it just
bounces back into place where it was before.
But it does move, right? If there was hairspray, then it wouldn't be moving.
No, it'd still move. It'd just stay rigid. That's what it would look like.
If it was rigid, then it wouldn't be moving.
How? Okay. So you've got it. You've got me. You've got Blitz. You've beat us. You've explained the reason why her hair is sticking up is because of hairspray.
It could be a reason.
Okay, but now can you explain how she was literally fucking floating in free space? Now can you explain that?
Wires on a green screen. I don't know.
Wires on a green screen? Okay. Wait. So
it's 2026, man.
Okay, so you just said I don't know. So the reason why wires
do you not believe in trickery at a large scale? Can you wrap your head around that?
The reason why the wires on a green screen wouldn't work here is because that would mean that the wires would have to be inside of the Orion space capsule. But we know that the space capsule in of itself is not a green screen because they interact with it. So now that we've ruled out the wires on a green screen,
no. It says that could be a set. You don't know what that is. You don't know
You
where
have
they
to.
are.
If it's a green screen, then you can't interact with it. You can't touch it. You can't feel it. You can't bounce off of it. It can't dynamically change. Okay.
A green room. I don't know.
The green would be.
They get
Plus,
like
I want to clarify
billions a
here.
year, dude.
I
They
want
get
to
so much
clarify here.
money.
I'm still in the middle of my statement. I want to clarify here that it is the green in which would be replaced via the background, not a wire. So now tell us, how is she free floating
Green
around?
wires,
Also,
then.
okay.
Green
also,
wires.
So the issue with the wires approach is to what points of all of their bodies are the wires connected? Because it's not just like they're free floating as a fix one moment, as a fix to the middle of their body. They're not free floating as we would expect from a rock climber rappelling from a harness. No, the totality of their bodies are free floating, including their arms, their limbs, their legs. You could see their faces are free floating because they're a little bit more filled with blood because all the blood doesn't rush down. The hair is free floating, and then they move every affixment of their body independently, and you could observe it floating in space. So are you arguing that there's like one wire connected to their right foot, another to their left, another wire connected to their right knee, another to their left, another wire connected to the right side of their hip,
It's
another
camera
to their left,
trickery, man.
one wire connected to their right shoulder, right
It's
elbow,
camera
left
trickery.
elbow, right hand, left hand, neck and face and head and hair.
This is like if I showed a crazy video to someone living 200 years ago, they react the same way that you're reacting.
Okay,
They have crazy good camera trickery, and
prove it.
Because look at this right now. Look at this image that you're looking at of these 4 completely static people that are barely even moving. One guy's literally just lying down in the top left, and cross-analyze that with like any film that's come out in the past 20 years. Like,
why is the microphone moving?
And you're acting like a company that has billions and billions and
why
billions
is the
and
microphone
billions and
moving?
billions. Why is the microphone moving?
Yeah, why is it
What do you
floating?
mean?
Why is it floating?
Because they're faking it. What do you
then
mean? You're acting like I'm.
How can they interact with it? If it's fake, bro literally just
Again,
grabbed it.
Can you not picture like someone saying this? Like if you showed Interstellar to someone like 100 years ago.
You understand that Interstellar.
But how is it floating?
You understand that Interstellar.
Camera trickery.
You understand that Interstellar, okay, took like 2 years to film and then 2 years to edit and post. So how are they able to do this live in the moment of, as interactive with real questions from random people on the ground?
Because this is a government entity with endless budget. And obviously, you got to assume that in my worldview, that they have the reason to fake it. So they have an unlimited budget.
What is the reason to fake it?
It's to hide where we are.
Oh, wait. Why would they have to hide where we are with the new Artemis 2 space mission to go around the moon?
It's more about just keeping up that illusion in the public's mind.
Why wouldn't they just not do it? Why wouldn't they just not do it?
Not do what? Just go to the moon?
Why wouldn't they just not do the Artemis mission?
Because I don't think they can. Because I don't think you can go to space.
No. Why wouldn't they just not even try to fake it? Why wouldn't they just say, "Oh well, it's too expensive," or "Oh no, the rocket blew up in the sky"?
That's what they have been doing.
So then, why did they do this now?
To keep up the illusion for a new generation. Because Dean just said none of us were even alive when the last one happened. They're keeping up the illusion. It's not that hard to think of, guys. It's
what
really
is your
not.
evidence? What is your evidence that NASA is trying to hide where we are?
They faked a moon landing.
That's the claim. That's the claim, to be clear.
Yeah,
okay,
that's not the evidence.
So I just want to clarify. If it was not true that NASA faked a moon landing, then it would be not true that NASA is trying to hide where we are, and therefore it would be not true that Artemis 2 was fake, right?
You kind of spun my brain there. I don't even know what you're saying. Say that again.
Well, because you have a very unreliable, small, tiny one. But anyway, so I want to clarify.
You don't have to get mean, man. Like you don't have to get rude.
I'm sorry.
We're just having a conversation.
I'm sorry. I'll try to calm down. Now, I asked you, what is your evidence that all of the data that we've presented you to demonstrate this is being reliably true is fake? And then you said, well, I don't know, but
they don't have it. How about they don't have the evidence?
Okay. And then I asked you, well, why would they want to do that?
It's to hide where we are.
And then you said, well, I don't know why they'd want to do that.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't. I said it's to hide where we are.
Okay, why would they want to hide where we are?
Because that's the best way to keep people in control. You don't tell them where they actually are.
Well,
you don't tell a slave where they are.
What place are we actually? that if we
I have
knew it,
no
would
idea.
give
That's
us
the
control.
crazy thing about this conspiracy. We
Wait,
don't know
so
where
then,
we are.
So wait. So then, how do you know that we are actually in a place that, if we knew said place, would give us more control?
Give us more control? If
Like,
the whole world,
Like,
if
you
the
have to be
whole
able to
world
demonstrate here
realized for
that we're
sure,
actually in a place where, like, if we knew we were in that place, the
have control.
government would have less control over our lives, right?
because
Like, I'm
there'd
not
be an
convinced. Listen, I'm not
overnight
convinced. One moment.
revolution. It
One
would be a
moment.
shit.
One moment.
Okay.
I'm not convinced that if the government told us that we were in place B compared to place A when we are actually in place A, and if we knew we were in place A, we would have more control in all scenarios. Like, for instance, if we weren't actually a part of the Milky Way galaxy, and then this massive government scheme was just, like, blown out of the water, it was whistleblown. Now everybody knows that we're not actually in the Milky Way galaxy. Now that we know more about where we actually are, would we have more control? No, we wouldn't have more control just because we're learning that we
What are you
are
talking
not
about?
actually a part of the Milky Way galaxy. So, in other words, in order for us learning where
You'd
we
learn
are
that you've
actually,
been lied
in
to
order,
on
one
such a
moment. In order for us to gain more control by learning where we are actually, okay, this would require the place in which we are actually to, for some reason, give us more control. Like, for instance, maybe the Earth is flat and there's an ice wall that hides another 50% of everything in existence, and there's a firmament down over us that reaffirms that we have some type of theistic creator. And the government doesn't want us to think that we have a theistic creator because they want us to be disillusioned and secular, so then we don't attempt to rise up against the immoral attributes of the government which controls us, because the government wants us to think that they're the most powerful. That would be an example of some crazy conspiracy theory of where we actually are, that if we knew it, would give us, we the people, more control. So now the burden would be on you to demonstrate that the place in which we are actually, which NASA is lying about and attempting to hide, is a place in which, if we knew about it, would give us more control. But you can't do it. And that's why
you're not letting me answer. You talked for about 2
that
minutes.
NASA's lying about the Artemis 2 mission. That's why you can't reliably dispute any of the evidence that we've given you. That's why you can't reliably dispute the fact that we've been to the moon already because of the reflectors on the lunar surface, or the fact that you could buy a fucking telescope from Walmart or Amazon and then see the landing spots of the Apollo missions. And inevitably, this is also why you're now using movies like Interstellar to prove the zero G that we saw live from the spaceman.
I'm just saying that it's able to be faked.
Look, so here's the issue. Here's the issue with the claim it's able to be faked. So you say,
But can I even answer
it's
what Dean just said?
2026.
Like, he just had a 2-minute
go ahead.
monologue. Like,
go ahead.
He
Go ahead. I'm giving you time.
I don't quite remember what he said.
Gladiator,
He said,
I'm giving you time.
Okay. Dean brought up the point that my theory that we'd have more control doesn't make any sense, because it's like, he's basically saying, who cares if we don't know where we are? So basically, Dean, what you're saying is you don't value the most ultimate truth about where you're, like, it's where you're from, where you are right now. That's what you're saying you don't care about.
I'm saying that if we were lied to about being a part of the Milky Way galaxy, when in all reality we're not a part of the Milky Way galaxy, if
Would
we
you
were
not
to
feel
learn that
freaked
we're
out?
part of the Milky Way galaxy, that wouldn't give us, we the people, more control and the government less control. The government would
Of course
still
it
have
would.
just as much control tomorrow if we figured out that we were not actually a part of the Milky Way galaxy. And by the way, if you're saying that they would have less control,
You're
because we would figure
oversimplifying
out-
it, Dean.
Wait, 1 second. If you're arguing that we would have less control because we would figure out that we've been lied to by the government, well, then the government never would have lied to us in the first place, because they want more control, and lying to us risks losing it.
But they wouldn't have it if they didn't lie to us. So that's just, it doesn't make any sense.
Okay, like, for instance,
It doesn't
let's imagine
follow,
that we're
right?
not a part of the Milky Way galaxy. Why
Why do you
them
keep
telling
bringing up
us
this
we're a
point?
part
Let's
of the
just bring up the
Milky Way
point
galaxy?
that we don't live on a globe.
It's an
We don't
analogy.
live on a spinning ball. Because that's what we're talking
Gladiator,
about.
Gladiator, it's an analogy.
Yeah,
but
why
let's-
would the government telling us that we're a part of the Milky Way galaxy give the government more control?
This analogy has nothing to do with what we're talking. Can we talk about
Wait,
the
so
globe?
you admit?
Why would the
that
government
if-
tell us that we're on a
wait,
globe?
Wait, so
That's what
I just
they're
want to
telling us.
clarify. I just
We're on
want
a
to
globe.
clarify that you admit that the government could lie to us about where we are,
Yes.
without the government gaining more control in
No.
many circumstances. Okay, so then tell us how the government lying to us about being a part of the Milky Way galaxy would give the government more control.
Because if we are a tiny pin prick, we're a little ball in this endless universe, and we can't leave this ball, and it's already been discovered, and if you just go in a straight line, you're going to end up exactly where you are. That's what they tell you. What does that kill? That kills inhibition. It kills you to want to go and explore, to find out secrets of the universe.
Gladiator.
Stay there, do your job, watch your Netflix.
Hold on. So
argue on TikTok lives.
So 1,000 years ago, we didn't know. Humanity just didn't know how big the Earth was or what the continents were. I mean, like, the educated people did know what the radius of the Earth was, but if you just took some random peasants, they weren't going to school, they weren't being fed lies about the size of the Earth, whatever it was, they were just, they just lived somewhere.
Yeah,
and
that's why they all thought it was flat.
You know what they didn't do? They didn't go and explore. So what makes you think that if we suddenly found out, of course they could. They could have just gone.
A random peasant in 1,000 years ago could just go and explore?
What makes you think that if we found out that the world that we live in is actually much bigger than it actually is? What makes you think that anybody would go there? That, like, besides maybe like these super rich or super well-funded explorers, what makes you think that you would go there?
Well, what if you found out that if you just sailed for like an extra 20 hours, there's a whole new continent?
So, Gladiator, do you own a boat?
Would you not go there?
Do you own a boat? I don't own a boat.
No, but it's not hard to get a boat. It's not hard to get a boat trip. Do you own a plane? Do you own a plane, Blitz?
Well, wait a minute. So if I
wanted
Dean,
do you own a plane? Have you ever been on a plane?
Gladiator, if I wanted to fly somewhere, there would need to be a company that is, going along that route. So that would mean, of course, that somebody would have had to have gone there and established an airport and would have established, probably a city there. And then it would be just the same as being here.
So what you're saying is, ultimately, like, this is the argument that you're both putting forward, is that you wouldn't care if we'd been lied to about the nature of our reality and where we actually are.
Oh, you're incorrect. So, Gladiator, I would very much
That's what you're saying. And you're saying, no, I wouldn't go explore. There's a whole new
Gladiator, rather than strawmanning me, rather than strawmanning me and Dean, let me elaborate.
That's what you guys think.
It's not, but I can explain if you want. So the point is that the average person is not going to go explore and conquer new territory. That's just not a thing the average person does. The average person stays home, takes care of their family, takes care of their friends. That's what the average person does. Some people will go explore, sure.
People go on vacation,
to say
you go on vacation.
Going on vacation is not going into the wilderness. To say that
you said it's the wilderness.
I don't care, Gladiator, let me finish. To say that I don't care about knowing what's true about the reality is absurd, considering that I'm literally a scientist by profession. And so, sure, I absolutely do care, and I absolutely would be interested. You're having a hard time not interrupting. I absolutely do care, and I absolutely am interested in figuring out what's true about reality. I wouldn't care to go there. Like, that's not super important to me. I would care to know what's true. You, on the other hand, seem like you're not interested in knowing what's true because you're not willing to utilize the scientific method, which is our most reliable method of figuring out what's true about the world, to actually establish what is true. For example, you are obligated to think that gravity is fake if you think that the Earth is flat. And considering that you are currently 70-30, 70% being the Earth is not a globe, 30% being that maybe the Earth is a globe, that means that you are currently more convinced that gravity doesn't exist than you are that it does exist. And that's crazy because you can just use the scientific method to establish that that's the case. So who is it really that doesn't care about knowing what's true about the world? You or the two of us?
Blitz, I really
how do I prove
for
gravity?
hitting me up. I'm gonna go ahead and drop down. It was good getting into debate with you. It's been a long time.
Indeed,
I think I just rage baiting myself a little bit too much. Don't know how you do it.
I could tell you're calling me smooth brain.
That's the goal. That's the goal. All right, Dean, have a good one, man.
You as well, man. Take care.
Take care. So, Gladiator, who really is more interested in knowing what's true? The person who investigates the natural world using the scientific method, or the guy who just denies all scientific evidence?
But I don't know how to prove gravity. I can't do it.
Sure you can. Are you familiar with the Cavendish experiment? You can do it in your garage.
Why is this like the only one that you guys have?
Well, it's the easiest one. There are far more sophisticated there are far more sophisticated experiments that you can do. However, this experiment, because it was designed and performed in the 1700s, is sufficiently easy for the modern human that you can just do it in your garage.
Okay, and so you can prove that the Earth is a globe.
You can prove that gravity is real.
Oh, sorry, you can prove that gravity is real in your garage.
Yeah.
Is it by dropping an apple?
No, it's by doing the Cavendish experiment.
What is the Cavendish experiment? How would I do it?
So I can show you a diagram. It might be easier than me trying to explain it. Picture's worth 1,000 words and all of that. Essentially, what you're doing is you're measuring the gravitational attraction between two objects in the horizontal plane. But let me pull up a diagram for you. It might be helpful. I would like a nice diagram. Okay, this diagram's in German, but it'll do because there's not a lot of relevant text. Right, so here's a diagram. So you hang a string from the ceiling, say, and then you attach a horizontal bar to it. And attached to the ends of that horizontal bar, you put two masses. Usually we use lead because lead is heavy. It's heavy and it's dense. And so you're able to get more mass into a smaller area. So you attach two small lead balls to either end. Make sure that it's balanced so it's not like tilted one way or the other. And then you just leave it alone for a long time. Hopefully you're in an area where there's not a lot of earthquakes because earthquakes are obviously going to shake it. But you leave it alone for a long time. Eventually it'll come to rest. Then what you want to do is you want to go get two large lead spheres, or they don't have to be lead. They can be anything heavy. But again, lead is good because it's heavy and cheap. You put two large lead spheres in the configuration here. Now, what you're going to want to do is, because our eyes are not so good, you're going to want to attach.
Does it have to be a sphere?
No, they don't. But spheres are just they're just convenient because then you don't have to deal with like a higher order effects. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to attach a small mirror to this string in the middle, so that you can shine a laser onto that small mirror. Now, you're going to want to set up that laser so that it's like, you know, in a rigid place. Maybe it's on like a table or something, pointed at that small mirror at an angle so it deflects off and lands somewhere else on your garage's wall, say. Now, before you move the large lead spheres in place, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to let this balance come to rest, and then mark where the laser is, where the laser reflection is off of the mirror on the string. Then you're going to move the large lead spheres in place, and then you're going to wait for it to come to rest again with the same laser placed in the same location, and you're going to turn it on and mark where it is. And what you can do is you can establish what the gravitation or what the force is between the large lead spheres and the small lead spheres based off of the change in position of that laser point on the wall. Because that will mean that the balance will have rotated a little bit, because that would mean that would change the angle of the laser dot on the wall, and so you can infer how much it's rotated, and then using the properties of the string you can infer how much torsion there is, and so on. So that's what the Cavendish experiment is. And this
sorry, what makes the laser gravity move?
So the hanging bar from the string rotates slightly.
It starts to rotate.
Yeah, it rotates in the direction that each mass is going towards the heavier mass.
But there's two heavier masses.
Yeah, the two heavier masses are gravitationally attracting the two lighter masses.
Right. So it has to be two lead balls specifically.
Well, it doesn't have to be lead. You could use gold, you could use copper, just something heavy, because the bigger the heavier the thing, the larger the gravitational force. And the reason why you want them to be particularly dense, like lead or like gold, is because the gravitational force depends both on the mass, but it also depends on the distance. And so the more dense something is, the closer you can get to the small balls on the end of the balance without them like touching, right? So you want a lot of mass concentrated into a little bit of area so that they can get closer, so the force is stronger. Makes it easier to measure.
I mean, that just doesn't make any sense to my head. Maybe I'm just too stupid. The whole thing. It's just like, how does that prove gravity?
Well, so what is causing the smaller lead ball or the smaller lead balls to move towards the larger lead balls?
I mean, I'm looking up right now at something hanging down and it's slightly moving.
Well, that's why you wait for it to come to rest.
I have like a little ball hanging down on some string.
That's why you wait for it to come to rest, right?
So you're telling me that if I put like a hanging lead ball next to this other little ball I've got hanging, it's going to start moving towards it over time?
There will be a small force there. The reason why you use the mirror is because the mirror will amplify any small deviation, right? Because even if it just twists by like a 1/100th of a degree, that will mean that the laser light being reflected will be amplified by roughly the amount that it's twisted times the distance that the laser is being reflected to the wall. So you could see like a 1 or 2 inch deflection from even the tiniest rotation.
So if you just left this experiment like in a garage for however long, would they just eventually touch each other?
No, because the string itself has some torsion. So like, you know how if you twist something, if you twist it enough, it'll untwist because like the tension in the string. So the tension in the string is an opposing force to the gravitational force. So they'll just find a new equilibrium. They may touch depending on what the equilibrium is. They may not. It just depends on, you know, what the string is made out of, how tense it is, all of those things. The
Are there
point
any
is
other
that it
experiments?
rotates. There are plenty of
I mean,
others,
what
but
if you have a laser or something, or 2 big lead balls?
well, these are things that you can get for fairly cheap. You asked for an experiment, I gave you one that you can do literally in your garage. If you're asking for an experiment that you can do without any equipment, I'm sorry. Doing science requires equipment. And a
No, but is
laser
that maybe a different type of experiment? I don't know.
So there are other experiments, but they are more sophisticated. For example, there are experiments that will let you measure the rotation of the Earth. The most common one, the easiest one, is building a Foucault pendulum, but that requires a fairly tall building. There's another experiment, or there's another device that you can build called a Compton generator, which will also measure the rotation of the Earth. It's probably not as expensive to make, and it doesn't require a large space, but it does require a little bit more sophisticated manufacturing, because essentially you need to get a circular tube that's hollow, and somehow you need to fill it with water and also a little bit of coal dust, and then you need to seal it off. So that would require some probably custom glass blowing. So if you're a glass blower, you could probably do it. But there are plenty of ways, and then there's obviously more sophisticated ways, which you wouldn't believe, but there are plenty of ways. I was just giving you the easiest one.
Yeah. Well, I just, I think it's important that people be able to do stuff for themselves. If
This is something that you can do yourself. And not only can you do this yourself, there are like hundreds of videos of people online doing this experiment.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's hundreds of videos online of Artemis forgery, but you don't seem to believe that.
Well, I mean, the point is if you think that this experiment doesn't work, then it would be very, very strange that there aren't like...
I just don't see how it proves gravity. It's just not really seeping in.
So there is some force that is causing the smaller masses to be attracted to the bigger masses. What is that force?
I don't know. I don't know what it is. Maybe there's wind. I don't know.
In your garage,
how do you know there's not other
it's windy.
stuff?
It's windy in your garage after you let it sit and come to rest.
Yeah, I mean, my garage door doesn't go all the way down. A bit of wind gets through.
So when you leave something to come to rest, it's windy.
But if it's come to rest, you're basing this off movement. So how does it come to rest?
No, so initially it's at rest. You mark where the laser dot is on the wall. Then you put the lead balls next to it, and then you come back an hour later. You leave it for a few days, and then yeah, it's a very slow process, and the natural oscillations will last for a long time.
And how much time? How far will it have moved after a few days?
It just depends on the configuration of the experiment that you have.
Right. Like how big?
Well, yeah, how big the masses are, how tense the wire is, these kinds of things. But the point is you can actually check that you can check that the amount of deflection, which from the deflection you can calculate the attractive force. You can check that attractive force depends on the mass of the thing that's doing the attraction. Because you can use different size lead balls and you'll get different amounts.
I mean, look, this can prove that there is some
you can
sort
use
of
different
force.
substances. Yeah, that's what gravity is. It's that force.
But you're just taking it and you're slapping this word on it, gravity, and you're saying
gravity is the name for the force of mass attracting mass. Gravity is the name for the force of gravity of mass attracting mass. That's all it is.
I mean, I just don't know why they're faking stuff, man. I just can't get around that.
Well, it's possible that they're not faking stuff and you've just bought into some lies from, TikTokers or whatever.
But there's just no proof of anything they've done, and
there's
just
plenty of proof.
Okay,
so there's plenty of evidence. You just don't like the evidence because you have some preconceived
you didn't like
notions
my
about how the
evidence
world is.
That guy clearly forgetting about the delay.
I actually said we can even grant that that's evidence for your claim, and then I said that there's 100 other pieces of evidence that contradict it.
It doesn't contradict it. It's just there. All you need is that one piece of evidence.
There's 100 other pieces of evidence that show that it's not fake.
Yeah,
and
but
so the position that you should hold is the position that is the position with the most evidence, right?
Right, I agree. So if we went to court and we said, "Hey, is the moon landing fake or not?" and the judge goes, "Okay, well, where's the evidence? Where's all the telemetry data?"
Yeah, you would
and
find
NASA
that
goes,
all
"Oh,
of the
we don't have the
telemetry data is there."
data.
Oh, it is there. All of the telemetry data is there. What is missing is the
original telemetry data for
no, not even the original telemetry data is missing. What's missing is that there was
the original files are missing.
No, there was like a high definition video recording. So the way that they sent the data, the way that they sent the video from the moon landings is that first you would have video go directly to Houston, and then Houston would basically distribute it out to the networks, right? The TV networks. Now, the video that came from the Apollo landing, Apollo 11 specifically, that was higher. That was in some sense higher definition than what was then distributed to the news networks. But that higher definition version that just went to Houston, the kind of the higher definition data that just passed through, that is what we don't have. That's the telemetry data that's being referred to. We don't have the high def version of the moon landing that was then passed through in lower definition to the news agencies.
Crazy. That's crazy.
But we have literally all of the data, all of like the actual numbers. We have all of that.
We don't have the technology.
Do we have the technology to build a Model T Ford?
Yes.
We do.
Yes. If someone wanted to build a model, the original car, someone wanted to build the plane that the Wright brothers made, they'd be able to do it. They'd be able to use it.
Oh, would they? I mean, I'm pretty sure that they would have to, at least for the Model T, they would have to build an entire factory, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sure.
we could do that for the Apollo stuff too. We'd have to build entire factories. Why would we build 70 or 60-year-old technology when we could use modern stuff?
It worked perfectly.
No, it didn't.
Well, it did. We got to the moon, right?
Didn't.
We played golf. Did we not play golf on the moon? Yes or no?
Wait, hold on. There was literally a mission that failed. There was literally a mission that failed.
Okay, yeah, but there was 7 missions where
Apollo
on the moon,
13
right?
had to abort their landing.
Yeah, that's fine, but we still went to the moon.
So wait a minute. A 1 in 7 failure rate is good enough for you?
We still went to the moon.
Yeah, with a 1 in 7 failure rate. Why would we do that now?
We made it.
Why would
we
why would we use a 1 in 7 failure rate now when we could just make it better?
Is it better?
Yeah.
Why didn't these astronauts land on the moon?
Because they were doing a test run.
Why are they doing a test run?
Because they're using new technology.
You see, that just doesn't make any sense because that's not how technology works.
What are you talking about? Do you think that when they build a new car that they don't test that new car because we've had cars before?
No, but you build that car based on the old technology. You don't scrap it. When the Wright brothers made their first plane, did they scrap it?
The current
did
tech,
they just scrap the plans?
The current tech is built off of old tech.
Did they scrap the plans?
Who, the Apollo people or the Wright brothers?
The Wright brothers when they made that first plane.
I don't know, but we have all of the blueprints from the Apollo missions. We have all of the plans, all of it.
Right.
It sounds like you don't know, actually. It sounds like you haven't done your research.
No, I have.
Apparently not, because you didn't know that we don't have all of the blueprints.
Why do NASA astronauts say that we lost the technology?
Which one?
That doesn't make any sense.
You said NASA astronauts? Which ones?
Well, I can't remember his name.
Wait, so you said astronauts. Is there one or is there more than one?
Well, there's one, right?
There's one. There's exactly one. His name is coincidentally, his name is Dean, actually. Dean something. Let me see.
No, but it's a fact that you just said we wouldn't be able to do it again.
So what is true? It's not Dean. It's Don Petit, or I don't know how to say his last name. He is a single NASA astronaut who said this. This was not a statement that NASA ever made. This was just like a guy who happened to be an astronaut.
It's not just a guy. That's an astronaut.
No, but the point is this is not an official NASA statement. This is an
official
astronaut.
NASA astronaut.
He wasn't making a statement on behalf of NASA. He was just like talking. Okay. So the point is that this is a single astronaut not talking on behalf of NASA or on behalf of any official mission. And he did not say that we do not have the capability to go to the moon. He never said that.
I didn't say he said that.
Okay, so what do you think he said?
I'm pretty sure he says we lost the technology.
Yeah, so did we lose the technology to build a Model T?
No, we could do it again.
So then we didn't lose the technology to build the Apollo program.
But can we do that again?
We could, but why would we use 60-year-old technology? Because it's 60-year-old technology.
Why hasn't any other country done it? A poorer country,
a poorer country?
Botswana.
Because it's still super expensive. There's only a few space agencies.
But why hasn't any other space agency done it? Why haven't
other space agencies gone to the moon?
Yeah.
Well, so
it's
first of all, I'm not sure how much of the details of stuff is available to the public. So obviously the United States is going to have some things, and I don't know if it's publicly available. NASA would obviously have it, but I don't know if it would be publicly available. Secondly, it's still really expensive. Thirdly, why would they do it? Why would they put people on the moon when it's dangerous? Why would they use old technology
Exploration,
to put people on
the human
to
will.
explore what? It's already been done.
Why are we going back? Why are we going back?
Good question.
Why is Artemis going back?
Good question. I think Donald Trump wants to build a moon base.
Okay, so then your argument doesn't make any sense then.
Oops.
We clearly do want to go back. We've always been talking about going back.
Apparently
so why is like
not.
no
Apparently
other country
not.
gone, hey, we'll just take this old
Gladiator, did you know that after Apollo 7, or by the time Apollo 17 was landing on the moon, the US public interest was so low that it was only airing on 2 channels.
Mm-hmm. Oh wow! So public interest stops the government from innovation.
Public interest was basically zero by the time Apollo 17. In fact, that's why the Apollo program was canceled, because the public wasn't interested in continuing to dump money into this program. That, you know, they had already landed on the moon once. Why do they need to do it 100 more times?
So why are we going back now?
I guess there's more public interest.
Is there? That's the why? That's really why. The public interest is why we're going back to the moon.
So
and that's why we stopped.
I don't know the motivations of like the NASA director, but like we could just go look at
why.
Why don't I know? Because
do you not think that's strange that
I can't read minds, dude.
No, but what I'm asking is why do you not think it's strange that we, the public, don't even know why we're going back?
Why don't we go look it up? Why don't we look it up together? How about that?
But that's in all this
Let's
whole
go back to
Artemis mission, and no one even knows why we're going back.
Why don't we just Google it? Okay, let's see if there have been any interviews by Isaac whatever Isaacman. I forget his name. So this is an article from the BBC. I actually want an interview with like the head of NASA.
I mean, I can tell you why they're doing it, why they are actually doing it.
Sorry, Jared Isaacman. Here's a transcript from NASA Administrator Jared Isaacman on April 5th. So the primary objective right now for this phase of the mission is to continue gathering data from the ECLSS system, the life support system on the Orion spacecraft. This is the first time we've ever had humans on board the Orion spacecraft. We want to gather as much data as we possibly can for that. Of course, there's various science experiments. Let me show you what I'm reading. That way then we can read together. Of course, there's various science experiments, there's lunar observations, but learning as much as we can about Orion is critically important because Artemis 3 is a year away. That's where we're going to test the same spacecraft with our lunar landers, followed up in 2028 by Artemis 4, where we're going to use this spacecraft transfer crew, or we're going to use this spacecraft, I guess he just misspoke, transfer crew to the landers and put American astronauts back on the surface of the moon. Okay, so then this is a test mission. What are they looking for? They're going to have to spend some time on Monday essentially looking out the windows and looking for parts of the moon that they essentially have not seen before. So they're going to be, you know, okay, that's not particularly interesting. Series of cameras. All of this is to inform subsequent missions, which is where we're going to actually get those astronauts back on the surface. You want to land one and possibly 2 missions on the moon just 2 years from now. What are you doing to ensure that at least one of those 2 companies? Okay, that's about the company. And this is about the budget.
It looks like he doesn't say, does it?
Well, so yeah, I just pulled up a random interview. I'm looking to find some interview where
we
he
don't know.
says.
I'm telling you, we don't know.
Okay, so I'm sure that we can find some sort of explanation, but if we don't have an explanation, then you're right. That's weird that they wouldn't tell us. Oh, okay, here we go. Here is a interview. This is the conversation with Dasha Burns. Jared Isaacman says, I think it's in our destiny. We cross the seas, we climb the mountains. Sorry, let me put this in the center, make it a little bit smaller. We're explorers, astronauts are going to Mars someday, and they're going to go beyond Mars. Okay, so he's at least saying, this is the head of NASA saying that we're explorers, that's why we're going. I want to see if there's more
that's why we went in the first
him.
place. That's why humans do anything.
There's a lot going on here on Earth, too, so do you think that you can successfully reignite America's fascination with space? I have no doubt. I mean, you know, what kid has grown up that hasn't looked up at the night sky and just imagined the possibilities? Space captivates everyone. So, you know, it sounds like what he's saying is because we want to, because we're explorers, blah, 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 blah. Also, we build a moon base, and then we start thinking about what comes next, which is Mars. You know, we've got to, you know, kind of keep their attention as we set up for subsequent moon landings because they're trying to build a moon base to get to Mars. So that's another explanation. So there you have it. It's like you didn't even do any reading or any research on this.
No, I did.
Okay,
I mean,
so why didn't you find the
explanations a while ago.
explanations? Why didn't you find these explanations?
Because it's just, they don't make sense to me. They don't...
Look, I understand that a lot of things don't make sense to you, but that doesn't mean that they're not good explanations.
It does, because they don't make sense to me.
Look,
It should make sense to me.
So do you think that you could explain to a fish how to do calculus?
No.
Okay, does that mean that calculus isn't actually useful or effective because you can't explain it to a fish?
No, but so what? So everyone who doubts the moon missions are fish.
No, well, yes, basically.
Yeah, that's basically what you're trying to say. Yeah.
What I'm saying is just because you don't understand it doesn't mean that it's not a good explanation or it's not useful or it's not effective.
Yeah, and just because you're getting told something doesn't mean you have to assume it, especially when they are blatantly faking it.
Fortunately, we have data that disagrees with you on this. We don't have to rely on just like random videos.
But there are just no videos as well from this whole Artemis mission. There's nothing.
There are so many videos. We
There's
watched
nothing.
them. We watched them live.
There's nothing. If you go on the NASA gallery, there's really nothing. There's like
you
still images.
Referenced a live video.
Skim through that video right now and tell me what you see. It's 99% animation.
It's an interview.
That interview is a small, maybe 20-minute extract of a 10-hour live
so there
stream.
is video.
It's video of mission
There's
control.
hours worth of video.
It's video of animations, of visualizations. And then there's
literally hours. There's literally hours worth of video, days even.
And it's terrible footage. It's 2026. Why is it so bad?
It's 4K.
It's not 4K.
Hold on.
You can't tell me that's 4K. A video of the live Orion capsule traveling through space with the moon in the background or Earth in the background. It's terrible footage, and there's no footage. Why hadn't the astronauts got their phones out and just taken endless videos of what they're seeing?
I think they were actually.
They really weren't. I mean, they're not available to us. There's nothing.
By the way, here's footage. It's kind of boring,
Look
but
at that.
here's footage.
So that's 4K.
I didn't make the claim that every single video is 4K.
But what is that? That's nothing.
Oh, apparently it's well, I actually don't know. I actually don't know what the resolution of this is.
It's terrible. And it's a nothing video of nothing. There's
It turns out space is mostly
they had their phones up there.
Space is mostly empty, by the way.
They had their iPhones up there.
Yeah, but this is a camera on the outside, not on the inside.
Where's all the videos of them in the inside? Where's all?
We watched some videos of them from the inside.
No, that's the camera mounted for the interviews, and it's a 20-minute extra. I'm saying when they're about just doing their business.
So you want the
you can see the
videos.
You want the videos
from their. You want the videos from their personal iPhones that they couldn't transmit.
That would be cool. Well, they're back now. So.
Okay, well, yeah. So keep your eyes open. I'm sure that we'll get some.
I'm sure we won't. I'm sure we won't, man.
If we do, would you believe that the Artemis mission was real?
I would. I actually would. If there was a video of uncut of their re-entry or uncut
okay, now we're
from
changing.
the inside
Now we're changing the goalposts.
Or uncut of them in. No,
now we're changing the goalposts. So wait, you require an uncut video from their iPhone from launch to
anything.
Where?
No. I'm just giving you different examples of what I would like. A video of them on the inside when they're halfway to the moon and they can see the moon and the sun's behind it, and you're like, oh, that's a cool shot. And they get their phone out and they float to the other side of the cabin. They put their phone up to the inside of the glass. Like, give me some documentation on this historic footage.
Let me find you something.
You want me to be bothered about this historic footage? This historic moment?
Hold on.
There's no footage.
I'm gonna find you something.
There's nothing.
I'm gonna find you something.
You shouldn't even have to find me it. The whole public should see it. It should be viral, like
it's literally on Instagram, my guy. Okay, this is the footage. This isn't what I was referring to. It was the earlier clip. One sec.
Right.
Here's a picture. Here's a picture.
Yeah, it's a still image. It's a still image.
Hold on. Let me rewind to earlier in the video. Why can't I? Does Instagram not let you rewind in a video? Look. Literally, here's video. Here's video of him videoing.
A video of someone videoing something that you don't even know what it is.
Wait a minute, but you said that there's no video.
Is like cool. Is this
Here's
like
more
cool
video. Oh, I'm sorry. What was that? Why was that iPhone just floating across the screen?
Because they're faking it, man.
Oh, okay. I thought you said that if there was iPhone video from the inside of the spacecraft that you would believe it.
Like one of the astronauts flips it around like a selfie, and then like says, "Hey, what's up, man?"
So
and
if they don't get you
some stuff.
If they don't get you iPhone footage that is exactly as you want it to be, then it's fake.
Anything? No,
I literally gave you a video just now, but you said that it was fake and it wasn't long enough,
and you believe this stuff.
So your back must be jacked from carrying the goalposts all over the place.
I'm not carrying any goalposts.
The goalposts
Give me
have
anything.
moved. The goalposts have moved
NASA's
so
made a
much.
huge mistake.
Literally, you said any video, and then I showed you a video, and you're like, that's not long enough.
What?
I literally.
But I explained the
you said
video. I
any
explained the video. That would be cool. And that video didn't
Right. So
represent
it
and you're telling me I'm moving the goalposts.
It started off as any video. Then it was any video taken by the. Or it started off as any video.
I can tell you what it originally was.
It started off as any video. Then it was any video in 4K. Then it was any video in 4K taken by the iPhone. Then it was any video in 4K taken by the iPhone from the start all the way up till they got into space. Then it was a video taken from the iPhone in 4K from launch up until they can see the moon out the window.
You're putting words in my mouth. You're being very disingenuous. It's not a good look, and it just makes my argument.
Maybe you shouldn't move the goalposts all over the place.
I'm not moving the goalposts. I'm
really.
So it's the fact that it's good enough for you is what boggles my mind. It's like, do you not want to see cooler footage? Would you not like to see some cooler footage?
I'd love to see whatever.
You love space, right?
I'd love to see cool footage. I'd love to see it.
Where is it?
Look. Do you understand that because you want something doesn't mean that you get that thing?
I know, it's sad, right? You're never gonna get it. How sad is that? You love space and you're never gonna get good footage.
You understand that just because I want something doesn't mean that I get it. You have the mentality of a 5-year-old. You don't understand how just because you want something doesn't mean that you get that thing.
I know. I do understand that. But I'm asking you, do you want it? Yes or no?
It would be super rad if they had 8K footage from 360 degrees the whole time live stream. But I understand that I don't get everything that I want.
Why? Why don't we get that?
Because I don't control NASA.
But why are they not giving that to us?
Because they have other priorities than what some 32-year-old on TikTok wants.
Other priorities?
They have other things to be concerned with.
Really?
What do you mean, really?
That's really the way you're gonna mentally block this disturbing
Wait, do you think that anything you can conceptualize they should have done?
No.
Okay, so then maybe this is not something that they would have done, even if I can conceptualize it.
But I would like to see some stuff. I would like to see some
there was plenty of stuff.
There's some still images.
There's also a video.
You shouldn't like it.
What do you mean I shouldn't like it? Some of it's great.
It's really not, man. You're talking about still images. It's nothing.
Still, you know that photography is literally a kind of art, right?
Yeah, it is. And look, okay, yeah, one picture can look cool, but it's the fact that there's such little interesting footage. There's nothing, man. There's nothing.
Did you watch the re-entry?
The moon.
Did you watch the re-entry?
Videos. I did, and I've got another question about that.
It was rad as hell.
Right. So why is there no steam when it lands in the water?
Why is that? Because it cooled down. Because
it won't cool down that much. There should be steam.
Yeah, it would. Literally,
it was 100,000 degrees Celsius.
No, it wasn't 100,000 degrees. You understand that we use fans to cool things down.
Molten lava.
Literally pushing air at something is how we cool down rooms. And you're telling me that if something falls at hundreds of miles an hour through the air, it wouldn't cool down?
If it's hot enough.
It would have cooled down.
You're moving at 20,000 miles per hour or whatever it is.
Okay, so your incredulity isn't an argument. I'm sorry.
What?
I'm sorry, incredulity isn't an argument. Now, look, before I let you go, I just want to mention one thing that is no, there shouldn't be. And just because you don't understand how
that's basic science. The fact that you don't know that.
It's not basic science. Do you understand how a heat shield works? A heat shield doesn't work by just getting hot. It gets hot and then it breaks off. So it takes the heat with it.
So what happens to the part under it?
What part under it? The whole heat shield doesn't break off. It breaks off bit by bit.
Be hot, though.
No,
so is it just not hot?
If it got hot, then the heat shield wouldn't be doing its job.
So the heat shield burns off, and then the part that's then exposed doesn't get hot.
That's the whole point. Yeah.
Okay.
That's the whole point. Anyway, before I let you go, there is one thing that you should probably look up, and you're gonna laugh at this so much, but it's gonna be your incredulity will be all for naught. So here, I want you to look at this this footage.
Of course, I'm gonna laugh at that.
Yeah. Okay. So here's footage from 1972.
You people believe that?
Well, it's footage of something, right?
Come on.
It's footage of something, right?
For sure.
What is it footage of?
It's footage of NASA lying to us about where we are.
What is it footage of?
It's footage of a man driving a car on the moon.
Oh, okay. So you agree that man was on the moon?
Well, does it not say lunar rover testers on the moon?
Okay,
That's
so
what
we
the
agree
video's
that
suggesting
man
it is.
was on the moon.
I'm telling you what the video's suggesting.
No, I'm telling you what
I'm
you-
saying it's
I'm-
NASA fakery.
I'm telling you what.
That's what I said first.
I'm
I said
asking-
NASA was lying to us about where we are.
I'm asking, what do you think this is actually footage of?
What it really is, it's a guy in a big studio set, and there's a fake background, and he's driving around. I don't know.
So
it's slowed down. It's slowed down a bit.
So okay, so it's slowed down.
We could do this in 1969.
So it's slowed down. So he's actually driving like
anyone
80.
who believes this
So he's
shit.
actually like driving 80 miles an hour.
Maybe, yeah.
Okay, so he's driving 80 miles an hour in a set that is a few football fields across.
Probably, yeah.
And it's also in a pure. It's also in an almost pure vacuum, right?
Probably not. I don't know.
Unfortunately, the data disagrees with you on that.
Nah, I don't need data. The video's right there, right?
I don't need data. That's how we do analyses, my guy. We do analyses
because I can't verify the data.
Sure you can. I've actually done it myself. Here.
You went to the moon? You drive around on the moon?
I've verified the data.
Play a bit of golf?
I verified the data. Here, let me pull it up for you. So this is an analysis of that footage. In particular, they analyzed the dust particles, right? They analyzed the clouds of dust that's being kicked up by the rover. And you can track the dust as it moves through the environment. And the important point is that the dust moves with 0 air resistance, meaning that it's in a vacuum.
Right.
So you're telling me that they had a vacuum chamber the size of several football fields, and they were driving at 80 miles an hour inside of this vacuum chamber that's several football fields across in 1972.
That's what you're telling me. That's what you're telling me.
No, I'm telling you that they went to the moon.
Well, I mean, what you just said, yeah, sure, that's what they did.
They went to the moon. I'm glad we agree.
No, the football field vacuum stuff.
Okay, so where's the vacuum chamber? Where's the vacuum chamber that's several football fields across? Which, by the way, we don't have the tech to do that now.
We don't have the tech to do it now?
No.
But we can send someone to the moon.
Yep, it's easier to do that.
It's easier to send someone to the moon
than to build a vacuum chamber a few football fields across.
To send someone to the moon so they can drive on the moon and play golf. And why is no other country
it's easier. Why? Just because it's easier doesn't mean it's easy.
Yeah, but that doesn't stop people from doing stuff. That doesn't stop human innovation.
Sure. I mean, you just have to convince a country to put up the money and to try to do it. But anyway, that's what I wanted to show you. You should consider that the lunar rover.
You consider that you're being lied to, man.
You should consider that your brain is the size of
you're
a
being
fish.
lied to, man.
All right. That was a long ass conversation. Sorry, all, for making it go so long, but we got a lot of we covered a lot of ground there. So let's read some super chats, and then we'll bring up our next guest. I wouldn't say that it was a boring one, to be honest. I think that we covered a lot of ground. All right, so let's read some super chats and we'll bring up our next guest. From, sorry, one sec. From The Thinking Man with the 5 pounds, flat earthers want geometry to be a table. And the Lorenza tractor reminds us it's actually a butterfly having a nervous breakdown in multidimensional space. I don't know what that means, but I appreciate it. From Andy Cutright with the $2, because the thumbs up is standard procedure. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. That like they probably have that thumbs up is how they agree or how they say that something is good. From Logan with the $2, he does a double thumbs up afterwards. Yeah, like that. From the Rabid Squirrel with the $2, all hail the emissary of the lava lamp. Indeed. Flip clop. From Kubito with the $5. My conspiracy theory is that all flat earthers are faking it and are just giving us excuses so we can give them a free trip to space. It could be. Could very well be. From Bacon and Bush with the $5. I can't believe our cover was blown by a thumbs up. We'll trick the conspiracy nuts one day. Right? Like, it's a little absurd that like the one thing, like the one smoking gun piece of evidence is that the guy gives a thumbs up like a second earlier than they think they should. Like, I don't know, man. From Orion Cooper with the $5, FLERFS and conspiracy theorists believe in a nonsense called duality. The Illuminati have to tell truth with lies because of magic oogie boogie. Yeah, that's roughly it. They think that like they have to tell the truth because of magic, even though they're lying to us. Like it doesn't make any sense. From Ryan Gasling with the £2, thumbs up and subscribe. Indeed, you guys should be thumbs upping. If you're watching on YouTube, if you're watching on TikTok, make sure to like and make sure to thumbs up because it's a great way to get this out to more people. Also, if you want to support the live, or if you want to support me and not just this live stream, there are ways to do it. For example, you could become a member on YouTube. This gets you access to my debate notes, which have all of these arguments and papers and links in them. That's what I was pulling up this whole time to find things. So it's this document, right? So this document has a whole bunch of different stuff on the moon landing and on the shape of the Earth and references and calculations. And so if you want access to that, like my personal notes, consider becoming a member. It's like $4 or $5 a month. From Riley Leifson with the $5, the third law of FLERF. FLERFs are science deniers when it comes to globe evidence and pseudoscientists when it comes to flat Earth evidence. No exceptions. Absolutely, right? They love science the moment it seems like a surface level understanding might inform them of their flat Earth position, but they never actually want to pay attention to science that doesn't have anything to do with that. From Jim Daniels with the $5, I believe the question about seeing stars was during the eclipse and not during the entire mission. Yeah, it'd be hard to find specifically, but even if he doesn't remember seeing them, there were 2 tiny windows, right? From HP Lovecats with the $5, why wouldn't the Soviets call the US out for faking the moon landing? Oh, because they're all in on it, obviously. From Stewart with the $2, it was when they photoed the solar corona during the eclipse. Oh, okay. I mean, maybe that's true. From Simeon Urchin with the $5, with all this new Artemis mission fervor, you should add the topic, we absolutely went to the moon, sorry if that hurts your feelings to your rotation. Maybe. The thing is that Artemis is, like, as you can see from like an hour of that conversation, they just call everything from the Artemis mission fake because they didn't leave anything on the moon, because of course they didn't land on the moon. So I instead prefer to actually rely on the Apollo missions because they actually left a whole bunch of stuff behind on the moon. They did a whole bunch of videos on the moon that can then be reanalyzed later. The Artemis missions, presumably in the next few years when we actually land people on the moon again, we will get that same kind of evidence again. But as of right now, they could just say, oh, they were in a studio inside the capsule the whole time and they just had like $1 trillion to blah, 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 right? Like there's just not much to go on there. From Tim Davidson with the $5, there's only one solar system in the entire universe because there's only one star named Sol. That's true. Good point. From The Thinking Man, again with the £5, hydrophobic attraction. The hair is in the lowest entropy state. Think hair oil and account for 0G. Yeah, so that's another thing, right? Like 0G is not the same as being in water. They are similar, but they are not the same. From Jedi Quilo with the $20, thank you so much. Gladiator said astronauts rehearse in order to fake missions, while astronauts are very open about their actual rehearsals. A few hours ago, Christina Koch posted videos on Instagram doing a simulated run of a future moonwalk. There you go. There you go. From Vikanuk with the 14 Canuck bucks, make your own conspiracies. Conspiradumsum. Dim sum, okay. 2 cups. Quote, I'm 100% certain you're wrong, but I have no idea why I'm right. 1 mom's basement and 4 free online IQ tests like Google overnight until softly confident and enjoy. That's a good meme. It's a really good meme. From Empiricist with the $2, keeping up the illusion but also dropping hints. Yeah, like why would they do that? What would be the goal? From Ryan Gasling with the £5, curious if standard floating astronauts is interstellar. Do we need an astronaut to literally jork it in capsule for this guy to believe it? Yeah, maybe then he would believe it, actually. From L'Oreal Ashley with the $5, caller is just an unremarkable person with no real accomplishments who wants to feel special for knowing more than us. That is one of the 4, say, motivating factors for why people become flat earthers. I actually watched a slideshow, you know, like those slideshows that had a breakdown of the 4 different kinds of flat earthers. And it was actually a pretty good summary. One of them is the unremarkable person who wants to feel special. Another is the grifter, another is the religious person, and there is a 4th one that I don't remember. From Andy Cutright with the $2, read Asimov's Understanding Physics Volume 1. That might help. From Bacon and Bush with the $5, I'd like to suggest a type of experiment the caller could try. It's hard, but it works. Read. Oh, but is that repeatable and testable? From Small Soldier Big Bat with the $2, bless your patience, Blitz. Look, yeah, I have a lot of patience. I learned it in grad school. From Mr. Kiki with the $5, crazy idea, send flat earthers to orbit to see the globe for themselves. No return flight needed. We sent them to Antarctica and they still didn't believe. From Glam Pixie with the $5, caller could literally go to a children's science museum and learn. Yeah, probably. There's a lot to learn there. I love science museums, so don't hate on science museums. But yeah, he probably could learn a lot. From L'Oreal Ashley with the $50, it's very, very generous of you and I appreciate it. Always good to see you here. From Simeon Urchin with the $5, I believe that another reason we want to establish a moon base is to collect helium and hydrogen isotopes that are difficult to find here on Earth. That's something that people have been saying, but I don't know if like Trump or Jared Isaacman have mentioned these. Because I don't really pay attention to, like, that's not the kind of scientist that I am, so I don't really pay attention to what NASA does, really. From Tim Davidson with the $5, you complain about the money they're getting now after their budget has been cut several thousand times, and you ask why we haven't gone back, not several thousand times, several dozen times. From literally Lou with the 10 Australian dollars, appreciate you. Well, I appreciate you too, Lou. From Pat in the chat with the $2, NASA doesn't placate idiots. That's indeed the case. From Gretchen with the $3, 90 minutes of Gladiator. Did we piss you off or something? No, it was just a natural trajectory, right? From Flanker with the $5, ask this dullard how I tracked and saw Artemis from my telescope and watched people live stream of the launch all the way to space. How is this possible? Oh, I asked him that. He just said it's a light in the sky. From Fifth Ave Inc. with the $5, look how terrible this video is. But they've spent billions on state-of-the-art live green screen CGI. It doesn't matter what you show this guy. Yeah, the point is they have a preconceived notion of what's the case, and then they won't accept anything else. From Witch of the River, by the way, we're almost done with super chats, y'all, and then we'll bring on another guest. From Witch of the River with the $5, a moon landing denier wanting to be given a modern movie maker style video as proof is the height of irony. Yeah, wouldn't he just say anything's fake anyway? From Rutabaga with the $2, Reuters YouTube has replayable streams of the mission. Yeah, they're all over the place at this point. From Jeff Smith with the $5, has anyone else seen a demonstration with a piece of heat shield in high school? They heated it up red hot and then threw it at someone. I haven't seen that, but it sounds awesome. From Schflame with the $10, it's crazy to think that there's people out there that think the US and the USSR made an agreement to establish the same data during the Cold War simply to fake a moon mission, right? Like what's going on? From Julian with the $10, everything from NASA is fake except when it disproves NASA. Right, it's like that's the conspiracy brain and it just doesn't get you very far. And from Fifth Ave Inc. with the $5, not to diminish rocket science, but going to the moon is just traveling really far. I dare a FLERF to explain how Wi-Fi or DVDs work. It's a good point. Going to the moon is, we say rocket science because like, you know, we compare things to rocket science as being really hard, but like rocket science is, it's engineering, right? At this point, like all you do basically is build a big rocket. Now there's a lot of things you have to do to keep people safe, but building rockets, the Nazis figured it out in the 40s. So, okay, that was the last super chat. I just want to make sure I didn't miss any cash apps or anything, which I think that we did. We have $20 from Grimlock for continuous hydration. We have another $10 from Grimlock for guest really likes that Petri dish Earth model, huh? He does. Thank you so much, Grimlock. That's very much appreciated. And yeah, okay, I think that's everything. People are saying don't bring up Romy. Why shouldn't I bring up Romy? Chat, why shouldn't I bring up Romy? Why is everybody telling me not to bring Romy up? Is this like, are you trying to like, you know, reverse psychology me? Or should I bring up, or like, is he good content? Okay, let's bring him up. He's begging. He's begging. We'll bring him up. We give the people what they want, right? Romy, how's it going?
Hello, I'm good.
Romy, what shape do you think the Earth is?
Flat.
Okay, why do you think it's flat, Romy?
Well, you know, the founder of NASA.
Yeah, who was the founder of NASA?
Wernher von Braun. Like, if you can search him up.
Are you sure that that was the founder of NASA?
Yeah, well, he was an astronaut, though.
He was a what?
An astronaut.
He was not an astronaut. No, he also wasn't the founder of NASA.
Search him up. Search him up.
I know who Wernher von Braun is. He wasn't an astronaut. He wasn't the founder of NASA. He was the head of the Apollo program.
On his tombstone.
Wait a minute, hold on. Are you going to talk about how you just lied to me about how he was the founder of NASA and how he was an astronaut? Why'd you lie to me, Romy?
Well, someone said that he is.
Well, why'd you listen to them? Why didn't you just check it yourself?
Okay. But he worked with NASA though, right?
Yeah, he worked at NASA, yeah. Lots of people work at NASA.
Okay, so like, on
Not
his
off to a strong
tombstone...
start here, Romy.
Yeah. Listen.
Listen.
On his tombstone,
yep.
he has Psalm 19 verses 1.
Yeah, he does. Why should I care?
That confirms that there's like a firmament over the earth. There's like a firmament, and
how does that confirm anything?
Basically, it shows that there's a firmament over the earth.
How does it show that? It's just a citation on a tombstone. How does it show anything about what the world is?
Well, it just goes to show that that's what he believes in, isn't it?
No, it doesn't.
Okay, I'll just leave this one. Do you know Buzz Aldrin?
Do I know Buzz Aldrin? Not personally. Do you know Buzz Aldrin personally?
Yeah, well, not personally, but
okay.
I saw his videos on the internet.
I'm sure you did.
And
I'm sure you saw clips of his videos on TikTok. I'm sure you didn't watch the whole interviews, but sure.
He said he didn't go to the moon. He said they didn't go to the moon. Like,
he didn't say that. I've seen the interview.
He said that.
I did.
So the kid, on the internet.
I've seen it before. The kid asks him, "Why haven't we gone back to the moon?" And he says, "Because we haven't." Now, if you speak English as your first language, you would take it to mean that he's saying we haven't gone back to the moon because we haven't gone back to the moon.
He's just putting in your face that they didn't go to the moon. Like,
English isn't your first language, is it? If it's not, that's fine.
Yeah, it's not. Okay, listen.
Okay, so I'm just telling you what a person for whom English is their first language, how we would interpret that.
Okay, bro. If you won't believe that, wait. There's like this
because I could find other places where Buzz Aldrin talks about what it was like to be on the moon. So like Buzz Aldrin doesn't think that we didn't go to the moon.
Because we didn't.
Buzz Aldrin talks about what it was like when he was on the moon. There are interviews of him doing this. He didn't say that. He said we haven't. He said we haven't been back.
We didn't go to the moon, bro.
We did. Want me to show you evidence that we went to the moon?
Yeah.
Okay. One sec, let me pull it up. I'll pull up a zoomed out version, and then I'll pull up a more zoomed in version. So this is a photo taken by a Chinese spacecraft. And keep in mind, the Chinese are geopolitical adversaries of the United States. That little speck in the middle is the Apollo 11 lander. Now I can show you a more zoomed in version. A little bit less blurry.
I still don't believe. Like, listen, like if you go on a high building.
Here is the Apollo 11 lander, more zoomed in. And you can tell that this is actually like an object now. You can tell that it's, in fact, you can even see like one of the legs of the lander. You can see another leg of the lander. You can see the complex structure that it has in its shadow. This is a photo taken by the, this is a photo taken by the Indian Space Agency of the Apollo 11 lander.
CGI.
Okay, so you're just going to say everything's CGI then, I guess? Why would India fake it for the United States?
Well, I don't know why. Listen.
You don't know why, but it must be CGI because it disagrees with your point of view, right?
Well, they're trying to like hide.
Hold on. Before you say anything, I'm gonna make a prediction. You're going to pivot. All right, go ahead.
Bro, they want to hide the planet's form because they want to hide the existence of God.
Why would the Indians want to do that? Indians overwhelmingly are not Christian.
All of them, not just the Indians, but like
but Indians are overwhelmingly not Christian. The Chinese are overwhelmingly not religious or not theistic.
I'm not saying just them, but like
why would they be interested in hiding? Why would they be interested in hiding the existence of God if they don't even think that God is real to begin with?
Well, because there's like a higher power. There's a leader. They all follow someone.
Who?
Isn't it?
Who all follows someone?
The United States.
We're not talking about the United States. We're talking about India and China.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So India and China, China is a geopolitical adversary of the United States, so they're not particularly interested in aligning with the U.S. on anything. And India is overwhelmingly not Christian. So why would they be interested in hiding God if they don't even think that God is real?
I still believe that they still work together.
I know you believe this, but you don't have any like evidence or reason to believe it. You just believe it because Magic, I guess.
It's the Illuminati that's trying to hide the existence of God.
Yeah, but which god? Vishnu?
Jesus Christ.
Okay, but
Jesus.
you realize that like the Indian Space Agency would not be interested in doing anything with regards to the Christian god because they're not Christian.
Okay, bro, like if you go in a high building.
Here's the pivot.
Okay.
Go ahead.
If you go in a high building and you look at the horizon, like what do you see?
You see the horizon. What?
A flat Earth. You don't see any curve.
So when you go up on a high altitude balloon with a rectilinear lens and you see the curvature of the Earth, does that mean that the Earth is curved?
Even on a building, bro, you can see a flat.
Oh, but when you go into a high altitude balloon, which is much taller than a building, you can see the curvature of the Earth. So what do you make of that?
You wouldn't see the curvature. They are using a fisheye lens.
Oh no, they're not using a fisheye lens. They're using a rectilinear lens. Here, I can show you. Here you go. Here is a picture taken from what altitude? 38,706 meters. And here you can see the curvature of the Earth. Look at that curve. Look at that beautiful, beautiful curve. Right there.
Even on a plane, bro, that's not real.
This is real.
How do we know that this is real?
Because we know who took the photo, or it wasn't a who. It was we know who built the machine that took the photo. It's a guy on YouTube actually. He built a high altitude balloon. His account is called Mr. Sensible Historic. He's just like a guy, right? It's just a guy. And here's the full 127,000 foot ascent of this high altitude balloon. And you could watch the whole thing. It's 3 hours long. It's uncut. It's just a private dude. It's not like some unrelated thing. Like, you can just go watch it yourself. This has nothing to do with NASA, nothing to do with the government. The lens is a modified, it's a modified rectilinear lens, and the photo I showed you just a minute ago removed any distortion, and you can see that in the strings that are horizontal here. Notice these are like physical strings that are drawn taut. And so you can see, because these are straight, that means that there's no distortion in this photograph, right? Otherwise, the strings would be curved. You can see one string down here and one string up here. The fact that the strings are straight means that there's no distortion, which means that this curvature is not due to a lens.
Have you ever been on a plane before?
There's the pivot. Want to respond to what I just said?
I mean, this is still on the flat Earth theory, though. Have you been on a plane?
No, that it's a pivot because you're not addressing what I said at all. You're just completely changing topics because you don't know how to address this.
Plane, like,
do you want to address what I just? Do you want to address this photograph that I've shown you? Do you want to address this photograph that I've shown you?
Or not.
I showed you the video that it's from. It has a full uncut 3-hour video from the ground all the way up to the sky.
It has to be a fisheye lens.
It's not a fisheye lens. If it was a fisheye lens, those strings would be curved. There's the balloon, by the way. And here's the see those strings? Those are the same strings I just showed you. Now, if it was a fisheye lens, those strings would be curved. And we can watch this. You could watch this whole thing. It's really long. It's several hours long, but it goes up 38 kilometers, 127,000 feet. If it was a fisheye lens, those strings would be curved, but they're not, so it's not a fisheye lens. Sorry. What did the flat earthers say? Welcome to Globe Earth. So here, do you want to address this?
I'm looking at it. Wait.
Okay. Yeah. So.
Well, I don't know how to address this. That's what I'm asking if you've been on a plane before.
You don't know how to address this, so you can't explain why the Earth is curved.
Well, this has to be a fisheye lens.
We've been over that. Did you just reset back 5 minutes before I explained how we know it's not a fisheye lens?
Well, that's the only way that I can address it.
Well, if it's a fisheye lens, then why aren't these strings curved?
Well, it can be manipulated. They can add that in later on.
The strings are literally in the video. You can see them in the video, and you can see the lighting on those strings changing as the camera moves.
How do we know they didn't put the strings on the camera, like outside?
The strings are in front of the camera, right? That's why the camera can see them.
Okay, how do you know that it's inside?
That what's inside? The strings?
The strings. I mean,
what do you mean inside? They're not inside. They're outside the camera. That's how the camera can see them. Is there a part that's confusing here? Like it's just string in front of the camera, right? They have a camera and then they have strings in front of it, taut, to verify that this is not a fisheye lens. Because if it were, then the strings would be curving. Also, just as an aside, a fisheye lens causes things to curve downwards if it's in the bottom half of the frame, and causes things to curve upwards if it's in the top half of the frame. Now, we don't see any curvature here in the strings at all, but what we do see is that in the bottom half of the frame, we see it curving in the wrong direction. So it can't be a fisheye lens that causes that curve.
This could be manipulated though later on.
It's literally a video. We're watching the video. That's just a still from this video. You can see the clouds. And this isn't, by the way, this isn't the only video that a private individual has done to go to very high altitudes with rectilinear non-fisheye lenses. There's another one, but he doesn't have the strings, so it's a little bit harder to talk about because the string idea was an innovation for this guy. But like this is just a video done by a guy, like some random guy on the internet, not like a government whatever trying to manipulate you into thinking that the Earth is a sphere. Like, sorry. The Earth is curved.
I don't know how to address this, bro, but like, let's go back to like...
Doesn't that seem like a problem? If you can't address this, doesn't that seem like a problem? Like, if this is in direct contradiction with your worldview, maybe it means that your worldview is wrong.
I've seen another video on the internet, on YouTube, with the same thing, with a air balloon, like the same video like this, but the horizon was flat. There was not like any curve.
Okay, did they do the same thing with the? By the way, this isn't a hot air balloon. This isn't a hot air balloon. This is like a high altitude balloon, so it's going much higher than a hot air balloon goes. This goes to 38,000 meters. Okay, what's the name of the video? We can look at it.
I don't know, wait.
Because I imagine that they probably don't have strings, and you know, I imagine that they probably didn't go as high. But yeah, we can pull it up if you want.
Hold up.
Okay.
I'll try and see if I can get it.
Sure. Somebody asked if this is a nose ring. No, it's a injury that I got that's healing.
I can't find it though, but like, listen, I cannot.
I'm not surprised.
That, but, like, this is what, like, bro, the Earth is flat, and we are like surrounded by Antarctica. There's like an ice wall around our planet.
That's
around the land.
That's definitely that might be compelling if I didn't literally see the curvature of the Earth in this photograph.
There's like a wall of ice that is surrounding the planet, keeping the water inside.
That'd be great if the Earth wasn't obviously curved in this photograph. I mean, you can keep saying that as much as you want, but until you present me with evidence that is at least as compelling as this photograph that I just showed you, well, why would I ever believe you?
Bro. So, someone said that like
And here's the pivot. Go ahead.
The flights that we use, like
you want to talk about flights? We can talk about flights.
Yeah, but it proves like the Earth is flat. So like, if you want to go from the U.S., search it up. Like, if you want to go from the U.S. to maybe Germany, search it up.
You have a particular flight in mind? Because I have some flights in mind.
No, any flight.
Okay. Okay, any flight, right? Okay, so let's look at how about American Airlines Flight 167? Any flight, right? This is American Airlines Flight 167. It's currently in the air. It's going to fly for about 13 hours. The trajectory is here. This is obviously this is on a flat map, but the trajectory is it flies northwest out of New York and then it lands in Tokyo. That's its destination.
Look at a flat Earth.
Well, hold on. So we'll get to that, but I just wanted to show you this flight first. The second flight I wanted to show you was Qantas Flight 28. Qantas Flight 28 takes about an hour longer. It's flying from Santiago, Chile to Sydney, Australia. And notice that it's, at least on this flat map here, see on the flat map, it's pretty similar. It's a pretty similar flight, right? Let me just scroll down a little bit. See how it's pretty similar, just kind of like flipped across horizontally?
Yeah.
So they take about the same amount of time, right? 13 hours versus 14 hours. So let's go look at this flight. Let's go see if that makes sense on a flat Earth, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, let's pull it up. I'm gonna pull up an image of the flat Earth map that flat Earthers love to use. Bear with me. Here it is. Here's the flat Earth image. What we're going to do is we're going to take this image. We're gonna go. By the way, please stop breathing into your microphone. Please stop breathing into your microphone.
Okay.
I can hear you. I can hear you going. So
yeah,
it's
I had it close to my nose.
Okay. So I'm just going to rescale this down a little bit because it's an enormous file, and then we're going to try to draw a line connecting Chile to Sydney, Australia. Okay. Here we go. Here's the paint, or here's the paint thing, or we are now in paint, so we can draw. So here's Santiago is somewhere around. Santiago is somewhere around here. Sydney, Australia is somewhere around there. It's around there or so. So I'm just going to draw a line connecting them, right? I'm going to draw a straight line. It'd be something like that, right? Sorry, you can't see this. Something like that. Now, and I just want to make a valid comparison. I'm going to also open up Google Earth, and I'm going to draw a straight line connecting Santiago and Sydney on round Earth, okay? And then we can compare the two and see which one better matches the flight data that we have. Let me show you the Google Earth that I'm doing. Here's Google Earth. So here's Santiago, and then I'm going to go over to Sydney, Australia. Where is it? Here. Santiago to Sydney. So that's the flight on Google Earth, right? It first goes southwest, and then it goes northwest and swings up to Australia. So it goes southwest, and then it lands flying northwest. Whereas on the flat Earth map, right, it leaves going northwest. It leaves going northwest. See how it's going north, and then it crosses, and then it ends up going southwest. Okay. So when it lands, it's traveling southwest, which is this direction. Now let's go look at the actual flight path of Qantas Flight 28. So, according to the actual flight trajectory of Qantas Flight 28, this is a flight that travels every single day. It first leaves Santiago going southwest, and then it swings back up going northwest. Now, which one was that? Was that the globe or was that the flat Earth? You remember?
Well, why does it have to swing?
Because on a globe, that's the straightest possible path. It goes southwest and then it goes northwest.
Like, if you search up
on a,
like,
by the way,
going
on the
from-
on the flat Earth, it goes northwest then southwest. But it doesn't go northwest then southwest. It leaves going southwest, and it lands going northwest.
if you search up from the same starting point, going to the US, you'll see that they have to make a stop.
Why are you changing flights? Why aren't we talking about this one?
Because the one that I have in mind
You said
basically
any
makes sense
flight.
because, well, check out this one where they have to go to the US.
You
'cause
said any flight. Why are we changing? Can you address
because
this?
they have to make, bro, it makes sense. Search it up.
Can you address this? Also, here's another question.
Yeah.
It's another question about the same flight, the same two flights. So this is the flight. This is the flight from Santiago to Sydney. It's pretty long. Now I'm going to draw the flight from New York to Tokyo. It's about here. So see how the flight from Santiago to Sydney is like twice as long as the flight from New York to Tokyo?
Yeah.
Now let's go look at the actual flight times between those two destinations. So if we look at the flight from New York to Tokyo, it's about 13 hours. If we look at the flight from Santiago to Sydney, it's about 14 hours and 15 minutes. Now, depending on the day that you look, it'll vary because flight times vary. But this flight is usually about half an hour longer than the flight from New York to Tokyo. So why is it, if somehow you're traveling twice as far, why is it that it only takes you like half an hour longer? Maybe an hour longer.
You said the long one takes less time.
The long one takes about half an hour to an hour longer. But it's traveling nearly twice as far.
And the
according to
other
you.
one?
The other one.
And the other one?
Yep. It takes half an hour to an hour longer for the long one than it does for the short one.
Check up the stops, like for
Why are we
refuels.
changing topics? This is a direct flight. There are no stops.
Check up the. Well, if you check up from the same starting point of the long one, of the long line, going to somewhere
This
like
is
in the
this is a
US,
direct flight. Why would we look at stops?
to refuel.
Okay, well, but I want you to address this. Why is it that the flat Earth gets the direction of travel wrong, and it gets the duration of travel wrong? But the globe gets it right on both counts. I really need a cricket sound. I can use that though. You got nothing? Seems like we got nothing.
Okay, bro.
Romy, I'm gonna let you go,
Like,
but thank you for being
it
here.
says-
It seems like he had nothing, so we'll just let him go. We don't have to torture him anymore. But let's that was something. I mean, like, they never have answers to that. That particular pair of flights is killer because depending on the day, they take the same amount of time. But one is obviously traveling like twice as far as the other, and one is obviously traveling in the wrong direction, right? So it just doesn't make any sense on a flat Earth, but obviously it makes sense on a globe Earth. Let's read some super chats. From Glamour with the $20. Thank you so much, Glamour. I was a US Army sniper. My friend's wife from high school is a flat earther. I asked her why I had to account for the rotation of the Earth and curvature to make long shots. She said that's just the math you need. Well, yeah, it's magic, I guess. It's magic to them. Math is magic to them because they typically don't understand it well enough to actually see how it relates to the real world. From Johnny Carter with the $2 New Zealand dollars. Super chat. Indeed, super chat. From JJ Master with the £4. Earth isn't flat, but I wish space-time was. It would make things easier, wouldn't it? And somebody said, Blitz, how does it feel to be so cooked? I think that he was, like, not only was Romy cooked, he was burnt. Like, bro did not even have the capability to respond to these things. So I don't know, man. Maybe it wasn't for him. But it is almost noon, which means that I should probably end the live here. Now, before I do that, I just want to remind you that I have a website. It's blitz.phd. You can just go to blitz, or, https://blitz.phd. That's the website. And on that website, you can find various ways to support me if you want. Down at the bottom, there's like, there's Cash App and stuff like that. But there's also a lot of information. If you want to see my research, it's there. If you want to see if you want to see like my science communication philosophy, it's there. If you want to see some other stuff, if you want to contact me, it's there. So there's a great way to check out my stuff if you want to. Probably the best way to consistently support me, though, again, if you're interested, is consider becoming a member on either Patreon or YouTube. It's like $4 or $5 a month, and it's a really great way to support me because I recognize that it's consistent, right? I can rely on it rather than having to guesstimate what kinds of support I'll get from like super chats and TikTok videos and so on. So that's the way to do it. Also, there will be a link to the Discord server on my website. So if you want to join the Discord server and you're 18 plus, that's a great way to do it. A great way to get access to me, to my announcements, to other like-minded people. In the meantime, I will see you guys tomorrow for some Ask a Physicist. So I'm going to go enjoy my lunch, get some coffee, and catch you tomorrow.